At the midway point of the season, the WSL Championship Tour has seen startling victories, unprecedented performances, and a world title race like no other. As the schedule turns to a Pacific run, surfers focus their sights on swell maps and step-ups. The end of the road. A wave of dreams and nightmares. Teahupo'o, where legends have etched their name in the sport. With swell on tap, can Fioravanti hold the rankings lead from the 5 Brazilian world titles chasing him? And can Gabriela Bryan keep Carissa Moore off her ascent through the rankings? Find out at the Outerknown Tahiti Pro presented by IC.
Oh, Maeva, welcome to the end of the road. Teahupo'o, Tahiti. And we got some radical surf this morning. Iago Dora getting ready for the first matchup of the day. And already some board casualties out in the lineup. Callum Robinson splitting his DHD. The Voss family just having fun, chuckles. It's another day in paradise for them. But what is lurching on the outer reef here is going to be some absolutely radical surfing. We've already seen it in the warm-ups. Ethan Ewing got one. Leonardo Fioravanti, we're going to have a first look at him in the yellow jersey. Seth Moniz preparing for his matchup against Iago Dora, and the biggest opponent to all of these surfers is going to be the waves. It's going to be the surf. Radical stuff happening here. Oh my. Yorana Teahupo'o. Good morning, everyone. Kaipagura, along with the fabulous Felicity Flick Palmentier. And if we thought it was radical yesterday, we've turned the volume up today.
Oh, it has been turned up. How good's having a slab on the championship tour? I mean, it's good for us because we're sitting in here, but I'm actually genuinely scared for the guys out there today because it is looking wild, it's looking rogue, it's looking scary.
I was convinced that today was going to be a tow day. I was fully convinced. Came here in the dark, there's little waves breaking right here at the point inside the lagoon. And yeah, and then we got the message, hey, it's on. So today could actually be a defining day, I feel, Flick, in professional surfing.
Oh, totally. I mean, there is going to be sets that come through today that are probably tow sets. Yeah. And it is going to be the biggest game of cat and mouse. And also, there's just so much risk, right? I think we're going to see, you know, absolute heroes emerge out of today, and we're going to see, you know, we thought we saw some crazy wipeouts yesterday, but people will be sending it because obviously it is elimination. You want to get through this heat, and yeah, it's wild and it's rogue though. I mean, you can see the conditions here. We've obviously still got, you know, a lot of rain, a lot of wind. We've had a lot of rain and wind overnight too. That wind isn't going anywhere. And it's going to probably create a bit of havoc too out there today.
Yeah, radical stuff. Well, always in the front row is Strider Wazalewski out in the channel. Strider, good morning.
Good morning. Oh my gosh, we're watching carnage. We're watching these waves come in. There are tow waves. Tow waves are the ones that you cannot paddle into. There's plenty of them out here. We're here with Morgan Siblick. Morgan, you've been through the battlefield already. How you feeling?
Yeah, feeling a little nervous, I reckon. It's pretty solid and unruly, but there's some absolute diamonds out there. If you, I don't know, just have a crack and you can get the wave of your life. So could be one of those days and one of those heats that you'll definitely remember for the rest of your life, just whether you get a wave or not.
Well, good luck in your heat, man. I'll let you get back to the Hog. You're working with Hog out here, Nathan Hedge, and he's got you good headspace.
Yeah, no, he's so good. It's been nice. We just went out there and kind of cruised a bit more. Oh my God, Seth. Oh! Wow, that's a 10. Is that a 10 first? But oh my God.
Oh.
That was nuts. Well, that's what we're in for today. Woo!
We'll let you get back to it. It is on. Heat has started. Let's go, Seth. What is going on?
Wow, that's what we talked about. Possibly a defining day in professional surfing, and already first wave of the morning, Seth Moniz up against Iago Dora, and Seth just tamed the beast.
I just got goosebumps.
You
watching
sure
that.
did. Oh my God.
Are you not entertained? I was worried that they were, they chose to surf this morning. I was like, oh my goodness. But that is literally, just, wow. What an incredible ride from Seth. This is going to be an incredible matchup too, right, Copes?
Oh yeah, we put this heat on hold at the end of the day. This was actually the heat that we ended yesterday with. Neither surfer had a wave, so we got a brand new clock for Iago and Seth out there, and this is going to be a challenge for Iago Dora, I think, and see how he meets that challenge when the score comes in for Seth Moniz.
Oh my goodness, that's unbelievable, right? And to Morg's point, there is diamonds in the rough out there today, and we just absolutely witnessed one of those. Look at this shot right here. You can just see how angry and how powerful the ocean is. It's pretty incredible to witness something like this, but let alone then have the best surfers, on the championship tour. As we watch this replay, this meaty, big, sizable wave from Seth. Look at that thing turning inside out. There is so much size, so much energy. He has so much power. He took off in the perfect, look at the spin behind him taking off there. It's so dark and so scary right now, even just trying to really understand how technical and how hard it would be just to hold on with just so much energy and size being pushed out through that tube. That was beautiful. That was amazing.
Just the straight bravado that it takes to hear the hooter and immediately turn and burn and go on a wave like that. That is basically a sea monster again, eating itself up. That was, and you know what? The judges right now,
It's gonna be hard.
Yeah. So, wow. Let's, hey, Strider, what you got going on?
Well, I just wanted to check in with you. I caught up with Doug Silva and Leandro for the board information. So, surfboards under the feet out there for Iago. He's got a 6.6 whiplash. So it's a pretty solid board. And Seth Moniz is on a 6.4 on that first wave. But after riding that wave, he decided to come and change it out for the 6.6. So you can imagine maybe Iago's board is going to feel a little small even because he's taller and bigger than Seth. So, they're both riding the same size board now in this heat. Here we go. We got another wave coming.
Seth Moniz wants to back up that brilliant first ride, and this one just goes gutters, and Seth again having his heat of the year so far.
I am so impressed, right? Here we go, Iago.
Iago airdrops into this one, pulls into a cavern, and comes out of that huge barrel. What an answer from Iago Dora.
Whoa, this is really cool. This is really, really cool. I feel like it's just so cool to see people rise to the challenge when it presents itself like this, and it is so hard to do. They would have been thinking about this swell and this day in the waiting period for a long time. This swell has been forecasted, for the last sort of week or so. Surfline's had it on the charts, it's been on the maps, and to sit there and wait for this day to see what's going to unfold, to wait for this heat. Even yesterday, if you think about their heat that they had, they didn't catch waves, the restart, paddling themselves deep, and then having to go to bed tonight knowing, okay, tomorrow might be even bigger than yesterday. It's just to sort of have the courage and really go for it is so impressive. Let's have a look here. This is Seth's second wave, just so deep from behind. You could see that wave, it tubed, he pulled into it, came from behind it and just threaded the needle just perfectly there. And behind him, Iago takes off on his first wave, super late drop. And then similar sort of tube, right? Like you can see that it breaks before and they're entering before that and coming from behind. So both waves, obviously Iago on the forehand, Seth on the backhand, similar sort of waves there for the 1-2. But I'm just so impressed by the bravado.
Yeah, that's right. And we started off the day with that first wave for Seth Moniz, and it was an incredible wave. I want to see the score of the first wave, and here you come in as an 8.17, couple 8.5s, 8-point ride. We throw away at 8.5, we throw away at 8, and it averages out to that excellent score, an excellent start for Seth Moniz.
Yeah,
well deserved too.
It's so well deserved. I think it's we said it. You know, it's a really hard score for the judges to sort of throw down for the first score of the day, because you just, you know, even we heard Morg say it's got to be a 10. You know, and we're like, oh my gosh, like, can you do better than that today? But it's such early days, and we don't know quite what's going to happen and what's quite out there yet. So I think it's a good score. Still leave a little bit on the table, but so well deserved to go up into that excellent range.
Yeah, I like the judges are brave too to give us an excellent score on the first wave. I totally agree with what that 8.17. So that's great. Sets the scale for today, and you can see with a 14.52 wave total for Seth Moniz, his backup score a 6.33. So a healthy heat total already for Seth Moniz, waiting for first score for the 2025 world champ Iago Dora. Dora felt that way from Iago, for me, felt excellent or near excellent as well. So we'll see what the judges do. I'm sure they're taking a look at the replay.
Oh, I mean, it was such a late drop, and I mean, just technically how deep he was as well, where he positioned to come from behind it and really thread that one. Yeah, I loved it.
Iago Dora, you can see there on the scoreboard, comes in at an 8-point ride. So an excellent ride, an excellent start for the defending world champ. And I want to see the spread for Iago Dora from the judges. We can see each of the judges and the countries they represent here. 7.5 is a low and 8.5 is a high flip.
Yeah, I really loved both of the scores. The two excellent rides coming in. You know, that little bit of point separation for Seth and Iago on their excellent waves. I think it's warranted for sure. Really, really good judging. And to your point, Kuiper, really hard to throw excellent numbers so early in the day in the first heat. I mean, yeah, brave from the judges too. It's good to see. Yeah. It's good to see because it's so deserved. You know, you want to give these guys the scores because they're really going for it. I think even when you're watching at home, we were touching on it yesterday, but you just don't understand unless you've been in that channel or out there when it's like this size, just how scary it is. It really is like the Colosseum, right? These guys are gladiators right now. They are going to war. It is, if you're in that channel, you kind of, and you're not even surfing, you can feel the adrenaline. You don't even just have to be a surfer. You can be in the channel sitting there. I mean, Strider would be feeling it. You kind of get fired up just watching these guys surf it like this. The feeling is like no other, right? It's pretty crazy.
Oh, look at this view.
Oh my goodness. That just demonstrated, you know, you could see on the takeoff how late he was. And he really came from behind, so obviously rewarding the takeoff there massively. And then just how deep he was here to thread through this tube. Oh my goodness. It's got to be one of the best feelings of the world, right? When you rise to the challenge and the occasion and really, you know, tackle fear head on. Oh my gosh, that one just went inside out.
And you can just see, you know, the wave going below sea level, all due to the bathymetry of this special place. Take a look at Seth. And we're going to catch up with that, but he is in the zone. You talked about it before we got on camera, we got on set, Flick, is that some of the surfers, when needing a score, are going to have to take off on these dangerous inside ones.
Yeah, well, today you've got, you know, well, every day, you've got the inside ledge and you've got the outside ledge. As we look to see what happens here with Seth. So he must just, today, a lot of them are going inside out on themselves, right? So kind of, let's have a look. Let's go of the rail. Oh my goodness, just gets sucked up from so much power. I mean, look at how ferocious that wave looks.
And
from
then the consequences, perhaps having a 3-wave toe set come down on your head if you do not make your wave, which Seth looks like he dodged that. It looks like he's fine paddling back out. But that's the potential consequence. Checking the board, see if it's still, the fins and the board are still not creased. Let's head down to Strider Wozlewski.
Yeah, we got Seth paddling by. He's got Doug in his corner talking to him about, what's going on, how you feel. He's got medium fins in. It's almost like small talk to keep the head good. He immediately, first question, are you okay? And then he went to, the small talk to keep him feeling comfortable and paddling and headspace. And I think that's what it's all about today, keeping your athlete and the headspace in the right place.
Yeah, definitely Coach Doug Silva, a vibe king, if you would. He brings some good vibes wherever he goes, and that positive energy getting reinforced with Seth Moniz. Another look here of Seth's. This is the non-make.
I feel like this would have been an amazing score. I mean, he just gets sucked that little bit too high, and then just so much power. I mean, today there's going to be a lot of those moments where the ocean is going to win, just because of I think if you look at the energy from yesterday compared to today, it's almost doubled in the ocean. So it's going to be so hard if you get just that little bit too high. We saw it yesterday in the warm-up surf with Jake Marshall, sort of similar thing. If you get sucked that little bit too high, it is going to absolutely throw you over. So there is just so much power behind these waves. But back to what we were talking before, there's the inside ledge and the outside ledge. And obviously today you want to be sitting on that outside ledge to get these big scores, right? But there's potentially what's going to happen in a heat scenario. You've got to be competitive. If you're only chasing a smaller number to get through and you decide to position on that inside ledge to get, a 4-6 footer, there is that potential for you to get one of those big toe sets like on the head. There is so much risk involved today, and I just can't stress that enough. It's the bravado and the courage that it takes to surf out there today it's next level.
Yeah. The Tahitian word fa'atoitoi. Fa'atoitoi is a concept, and it's a word of strength and bravery. And that is what we're having here at Teahupo'o for sure today, is strength and bravery. How did we get here? Well, we always ask. We're trying to get prepared with Surfline, and they provide us with the necessary data to run the Outerknown Tahiti Pro presented by IC. And you can see the South Pacific flick, lots of energy.
I feel like, you can obviously see all these purple blobs, and the purple blobs, that means big swell. This has been forecast for the last week. All these guys, these women on the championship tour have just been watching this like, okay, and preparing for it for almost a week. This is the largest day in the window, peaks today, and we're literally looking at straddling the line between toe and paddle. We're going to see those paddle sets, but obviously here you're looking at the wind. These are these strong winds that have really just locked in for these trade winds, east-southeast, that have really locked in over the last sort of few days, and potentially for the next couple of days as well. And then let's look to today. We've got some big surf, people. We're looking at 15 to 20 foot faces, slowly easing towards the afternoon. But yeah, you can see the wind there. We've got that cross onshore. But the good news is it's, coming from the east-southeast. The other way would be the devil wind, so that would be, unsurfable. But good news is it is that way. And then if you look for the next 4 days, no shortage of swell, but the wind potentially,
Look at the wind getting better.
Yeah.
So as we go through this forecast, swell diminishes just a little bit, but still plenty healthy, but the weather improves and the wind improves. So we're going to have really a mixed set of everything. We could have really more perfect days later on in the competition window, but no matter what, for the men, you got to get through the monster day that today will provide. This is taming Tahiti.
Totally. I think this is one of those days where you will constantly reference everything of this day. And it kind of gives you a sense of, if you can go through on this heat, it gives you a level of comfortability moving forward into the waiting period, knowing it's going to drop off from here. Like, okay, well, I survived the biggest day of the waiting period. Everything else feels a little bit easier after that.
Yeah, Flick. We haven't checked in with our friend Chris Cote. He's out on the channel. Chris.
Hey, thank you, team. One word that I would use to describe the feeling in the channel right now is spooky. There are no tourist boats out here. It is pure business. Today is going to be a test for everyone, the surfers, the water safety, the boat drivers, the camera crews. It's truly one of those days where you can feel it in the water, you can feel it in the air. Everyone is on edge. We're right on the red line, and that makes for an incredible show. And so far, it is absolutely silent out here in the lineup. We're used to hearing cheers and people celebrating these waves, but every wave you're just watching, concentrating, and I feel like this is a mix of survival and a mix of, like Felicity said, bravado on display today. It's starting off with a bang. Those two waves, you could hear them. They're so loud when they're coming through. I mean, you look around at the weather and it backs up that word. It's spooky out here.
Yes, it is. It is scary. We'll be checking in with Chris. We'll be catching up with all of the winners of the heats and kind of give them the debrief. We see shots right now of Tahitian Water Patrol, who's got their head on a swivel today, Flick. It's going to be a busy day for Tahitian Water Patrol.
Oh, they're going to be working overtime for sure. I mean, we already saw shots this morning. I think it was Callum Robson, in those the early morning surf. He snapped the board. They were in there to retrieve him. But yeah, I mean, I think I even mentioned it yesterday, but if there's ever a time where you want to try and really have a crack at something more serious, I mean, it's as safe as it's ever going to get with these guys in the water right now. So professional, so skilled, and yeah, if you're going to have a crack, they're going to be right there to help you and save you.
Yeah, and they have it down to a well-timed drill every time it happens. Also today, speaking of Tahitian Water Patrol, one of the instructors and a guy who really helped these guys with all of their skills develop the Tahitian Water Patrol, Brian Kilano, is going to be here a little bit later and showing up, so it's going to be good to see Cousin Brian. Oh, here we go, Seth again. It is a thick sea monster coming through here. Oh man, so Seth again having the best heat of the year right here when it counts for the young Hawaiian.
Yeah, wow, that was beautiful. I feel like still scary, but that one almost looked a little bit more groomed.
Yeah, he tamed it, huh?
He did tame the beast. Let's have a look here. So, sitting underneath Iago here, really late technical takeoff. From that angle, you can see the wave turning inside out on itself. Just the way it's spinning. Okay, but here, I feel like this one almost looks a little bit more groomed, right? A little bit more, I guess, like welcoming, if there is any welcoming waves today. Kind of looks a little bit more groomed. It just drew off the reef. It's a little bit more smooth on the face. I mean, when you compare that to his 817, that thing was ugly. That was rogue. It was ugly.
Yeah, it was a homely wave.
So was Iago's 8. That thing was ugly.
Yeah.
It was rogue. That one, a little bit more approachable, ever so slightly.
Yeah. Well, I think Strider in the channel just spoke to Seth right after that wave. Let's hear what he had to say.
Yeah, spooky, gnarly, everything that's happening out here, but Kyle Biden said, this is a fun heat. Oh my gosh, look at this wave. Oh! Ooh, Iago just sent over the falls. That was radical. Well, one guy's having a heavy one, but Seth is having fun, he said. A fun heat. This is for him. I don't know if you could register that in your book, but there's a little bit of a screw loose there when you're having a good time out here. I love it. Having fun, Seth Moniz.
Well, Iago Dora is not having fun right now. It's the opposite of fun for our defending world champ. Take a look at the beating that he's taking right here. Here comes Tahitian Water Patrol for the scoop up. This is going to be a challenging drill right here. Got to pay attention to cavitation and all that foam that can provide for the ski. Grabber gets Dora, and they're going to just get out of the impact zone. So, well done.
Oh my goodness, so hard. So hard. It looks to be okay though.
Yeah.
Well, the leash looks like a little bit stretched far out.
I think probably lost the board.
Yeah, it looks like it. Or did he maybe? He took it off.
And sometimes the best thing in that particular drill is to take your leash off, ditch the board, so the board's not like an anchor behind you and preventing you from riding away or getting pulled off of the sled in the back. So,
or even slingshotting back and hitting you, in those moments. I mean, you've got to make these decisions in such a quick amount of time, right? So many quick decisions made under pressure from the surfers, from the Tahitian Water Patrol. The bigger it gets and the gnarlier it gets, you have got to be making decisions quick, smart, under pressure, as we see Iago just dropping through the trap door there as that one unloads on the reef. Oh, man. Oh.
That would be most surfers' nightmare right there.
It's just, you cannot stress enough the amount of pressure and how violent that would feel as that water unloads on top of your head. It's just, you want to keep your limbs in. It'd just be so violent underneath that water. Just so much pressure.
All right, wave coming through here. And we'll see if we have any takers. And no one going, so we're going to go out to Strider in the channel.
Yeah, just to get back to your point there, Kaipo, when you were talking about the surfboard, and I was talking to Arsene, one of the Tahitian Water Patrol, and he said that taking the leash off is key to not destroy your board. He said that it's so shallow when they're going across the reef on the inside that the boards get caught on the coral heads and then blow the entire board to pieces. So the key point there, that, you know, your points were valid, and slowing yourself down and everything else that you were talking about is happening. But the key point is to save your surfboard, because the board gets blown to pieces on the reef when it hits it, because it's kind of like sinking down with the leash on, and then it just goes pow, and all the leash gets ripped out, the fins are gone, the tail's broken off, and you're out of surfboard. So key point there, take your leash off when you get picked up.
Watching Iago Dora on the way back out. He's going to have to reset, get some new equipment, or maybe they can retrieve his board. Good talk with Strider and Arsene Parehoe, one of the original professional surfers out of Tahiti, kind of one of the pioneers, if you would. And Iago with Leandro de Silva, his coach and supporter, with the board change.
My goodness, look at that frothy wave coming through. There's no business riding that thing. Yeah, but board change here, and he'll get back out. But the one thing is, I mean, look, he's expending a lot of energy when you're doing that. Oh my goodness, ugly, that one.
Crazy waves coming through, and the score came through for Seth Moniz at a 7.33. So now the need for Iago Dora is intimidating, a 7.51, but Iago can rest on the assurance that he's already scored an 8-point ride. So if he can just replicate that effort, he can come through. And I'm hearing gasps from Felicity Parmentier. Flick.
Oh, like, the power of something like that landing on your head is just like unimaginable. It really is. Just how ferocious it's looking out there today. It's turning inside out on itself. More often than not, these waves are going inside out, and you know.
Well, this is the most challenging day that we've seen on the championship tour by far. So this is a big challenge for all of our tour surfers. Also, another indication is our surfers are riding the longest boards they've ridden all year long. When you're talking these guys surf sunset on 6.4s.
Yeah.
So when you're talking these guys taking out 6.6s, that's an indication that it is borderline big. It's a CT comp, but I feel like a big wave comp at the same time right now.
Yeah, we're like almost blurring the lines here as we see Iago
Dora pulls into this one, looking for a 7.51. Dora exits into the channel. We'll see if that does the trick. As we wait for that score, we'll check in again with Strider Wazalewski.
Thank you, Kaipo. Yeah, just a heads up on the surfboard change out for Iago Dora. Iago Dora was on a 6.6. It's his bigger board, but the backup board was a 6.5 and a 6.4. So he's on a 6.5 now, so he's had to come down to a smaller board because the other board hadn't been retrieved yet. But now that board's in the lineup. They put a leash on it. I think he'll probably, after his next wave, switch back to the bigger board. But at the moment, he's had to downsize. And when you're downsizing and the waves are this big, I would think that's a little bit of a mental challenge. And, well, he did pretty well on his last wave. Oh my gosh, look at these waves. It is hectic out here, you guys.
Wow. Absolute explosion coming out of the guts of that wave. And Iago Dora coming up short on his wave as well. Not just a shorter board, but a shorter score. 5.1 for Iago. He's still seeking a 7.51. And here's the last wave for Iago. This is the 5.1.
Yeah, so you can see him. He's put both arms into the face of that wave, just trying to double drag to stall a little bit. Obviously a shorter barrel there, but you know what? It's probably going to feel good just to get a completion after having such a hectic wipeout before. He's got a lot of time on the clock still, 11 minutes. But the thing is today, even though he's got that time, I feel like the waves that you can paddle in are sort of a dime in a dozen today. They're not every single set is paddleable. Like you can paddle into it. I feel like we just saw that wave came through. It didn't have an entry point before. That was almost, that was the tow wave. Yeah, it's a tow wave, right? So even though he's got this time on the clock, it's sort of a finite resource today, the waves that are actually you can paddle into and are looking like you can get a score on. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here. I mean, Seth's obviously got priority, and he's probably going to obviously utilize that when that next one comes through. So it's going to be tricky.
Big action happening this morning, and we're just going to have to settle down just a bit. We're going to take a break, but we'll be back with more action here. from Tahiti. It's been an incredible start for day 2 of the Outerknown Tahiti Pro presented by IC. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Outerknown Tahiti Pro presented by IC. Driving through a barrel is Hawaii's Seth Moniz, and Seth comes out of it. He's been driving through barrels. He's been in the driver's seat against Iago Dora with the lead. We'll see if that lead increases with that last wave. Is Kaipagura along with Flick Palmentier on the call here, and another brilliantly surfed wave by Seth Moniz.
Seth is absolutely, having a field day out there this morning. He is on every single nugget, really. I mean, look at this thing. He's picking great waves. His wave selection has been on point for, such a hard ocean to read. He got a lot of tube time, a lot of travel time in this one. And, yeah, I feel like today, look at this takeoff. Beautifully read. Dragging there to stall, to slow down, and this thing just keeps tubing. He stays in this thing for quite some time. I feel like right there he's probably caught up on the foam ball a bit and then gets shot out. You can see there it's turning inside out on itself. So Seth with the beautiful readout here this morning, he really is taming this beast.
And just the straight on view, when a surfer disappears, he's deep in the barrel, and that's what the kind of stuff that the judges want to see. And it did improve upon his score. We're waiting for the scores right now, but I feel that it will improve upon his score, and it just calculated. There it comes through at a 7.8. I want to see how we got to that 7.8. Let's go to our IC score line right now to take a look at how all the numbers came together for Seth Moniz and that 7.8. All right, I can tell you it's a 7.8. Here we go. Iago Dora, live action, dropping in, pulling in, high line through the barrel, long extended tube time, and Dora comes out. Now needing pretty much an 8-point ride. 7.98 is the requirement for Iago Dora, and he's feeling it. He's feeling he got the score. What do you think, Flick?
That was sick. It was so good.
It's hard, huh? Because you almost forget that we're in a contest right now. You almost forget that we're like watching a competition because it's just a spectacle for every ride. Strider's right out there, and I want your take, Strider.
Well, the technique and the technical surfing of that wave, he had to slow himself down and get into the barrel and just find a perfect line, and he found it, and it was a beautiful ride. And when he came out, he looked up the lip, and you could see that the enjoyment was there, even after the over the falls and after all the mayhem that's happened in this heat. So I feel like he's going to try to get himself into a better flow and get himself onto another bomb, because he was stoked. He had a fist pump. He was like smiling, and he looked over and he said, yeah, and you could see that energy coming off of him to kind of switch the flow and get him into this heat for himself. Obviously Seth dominating, just literally having a field day. But now Iago trying to find his feet in this heat. Let's go.
Yeah, Iago looking for some momentum, and it's oftentimes in surfing that it's both momentum and timing that comes through, and a lot of times if you're just in the right rhythm with the ocean, that's what Iago Dora is trying to establish, to get back into rhythm against Seth Moniz, who has been the surfer with the rhythm in this heat. 6.33 checks in flick for Iago Dora. Not enough. He's still chasing that nearly 8-point ride.
Yeah, I think it's good judging. I do. I think it was a great ride, but you got to start drawing comparisons, you know, to Seth's 7.8. You know, it's basically similar score for what he's chasing. You rewind to that. You think about that sort of wave. It was a really good wave surfed by Iago, but yeah, he's still obviously chasing that 7.98. The 6.33, I think, was good judging. I just feel like when you look at the two waves and you compare them together, I think Seth's wave was just a bit more uglier, a bit more harder to surf, whereas, you know, it's so hard to say this because it's such a hard wave that Iago had to surf too, but yeah, I just think you're comparing the waves here.
Yeah, well, we know that, you know, Iago Dora knows how to turn a heat, and when we look at our stats on clutch waves surfed, that means turning the heat in the last 5 minutes. Iago Dora is right on the top of the pack, along with Ethan Ewing and Leo Fioravanti. Yeah,
this is a really cool stat. I love this. I love seeing this. I think it's amazing. I actually heard, I think it was Jack talking about it Jack Robbo talking about this, and like the surfers who are so clutch and being able to change heats in the last few minutes. I mean, Iago, you think to his bag of tricks and what he's been able to do, my brain goes to the heat that he had down at Winky Pop and what he was able to do down there. Was it against Gabriel Medina? It was. I mean, that was just amazing to watch. So, look, well within his wheelhouse. The stats aren't lying for being able to achieve something like this.
Well, and Seth Moniz also, you know, is on the list of clutch heat performances. He did that with Emil Zermack in the opening round here, where he turned the heat right in the last couple of minutes. So both surfers able to do that, which means the heat is definitely not over. However, Seth Moniz has heat control in the driver's seats. I'm saying that because he has priority. He has a big lead over Iago Dora. Now the Hawaiian just has to close out these final 3 minutes.
Totally. I think, you know, you brought up the heat with Emio. That was probably one of the toughest draws you could have had. And to get a win over, you know, someone who is so accomplished out here, local, who knows the lineup, I feel like he's taken a lot of confidence from that. Ooh.
Now remember, Seth has made the semifinals here before. That was back in 2019 on his rookie year, where he actually went down to Gabe Medina in another great battle. So Seth, I feel we talked about getting momentum and getting into rhythm after that opening round clutch win, coming into this heat where he's just gone excellent. The momentum now is with Seth Moniz, and we'll see if the Hawaiians will be able to carry throughout this entire competition.
Well, he kind of needs this, right? He really does.
Yeah.
If you think about where he is.
He's 31 on the ranking, so he definitely needs this.
He needs to keep advancing through heats. So this is going to do big things for his confidence, you know. And he's also had, you know, let's not forget, we've had 6 weeks kind of where, you know, kind of just to think about your position on the rankings and what you need to do to sort of keep this dream alive.
Well, let's take a look at what we have here. No waves ridden. And so we're going to go to a heat recap, starting off with Seth Moniz opener of an 8.17.
How good is, I'm going to say it again, having a slab on the CT. I mean, waking up, and that is the first wave of the morning. Absolutely incredible. It just shows so much courage, determination, and so much bravado, really. Seth, he's really had such a good read on this. This is not easy to pick the waves that you want to surf out there today. And, yeah. Behind him, though, Iago, you know, he opened up with his own version of an excellent ride on the forehand, looking a little bit different. And, I mean, you can just see how visibly stoked these guys are when they're making it to the channel and completing their rides. It is such a good feeling. I feel like you're just constantly chasing that adrenaline that comes with, you know, sort of taming a wave like this. But, I mean, you got to take your hats off to both these guys. I mean, there's a minute left on the clock. We'll see if another set comes through. But just for the heroics of this morning and putting on such a good show for us.
Yeah, like I said, I started spacing out and just watching the surfing and being mesmerized by the surfing. Going, wait a minute, there's a clock. There's scores that need to be had, just because it is hypnotizing watching these guys in extreme surfing conditions, and this is probably as extreme as it gets because it's not perfect. This Manabu win is another challenge put upon the surfers today.
Totally. It is far from perfect out there today, and I feel like it puts even more emphasis on people who are really connected and people who have put some serious time in waves of consequence, but also waves of consequence when they're not perfect. You know, I looking forward, you know, just watching these next few heats unfold and who's left in the draw as we see a paddle.
Keeping Seth honest, and that's going to be a priority switch. It's priority now to Yagodora, but too late with just 1 second away. So that was it was a smart one for Seth just not to sacrifice that for the priority block, keep himself safe as well. So, oh no. Who was that just got taken out? Was that Baron before the heat?
Oh my goodness.
Got ID that.
That's not a good feeling.
No. Luckily, it's not a multiple wave set, so it's just having to endure that one wave, but that was a radical one. There's the numbers, 8.17, 7.8 for Seth Moniz, and Moniz moves on into round number 3. Defending world champ, Yagodora, out of competition. Radical morning here. More on the way. Why would you miss any of it? We're going to continue with the Outerknown Tahiti Pro presented by IC right after this break.
So just on the E4 of the round 2, red from France is Marco Mino, and blue from Hawaii is Mania. And to the previous state, congratulations to Seth Moniz, advancing to round 3.
The Outerknown Tahiti Pro presented by IC is brought to you by Tahiti Government, official tourism partner of the Outerknown Tahiti Pro, by IC Sunglasses, official eyewear of the Championship Tour, by Air Tahiti Nui, official airline partner of the Outerknown Tahiti Pro, by Corona Cero, made with 100% natural ingredients, and by Outerknown. Find your Outerknown.
Maeva, welcome back to an action-packed morning here in Tahiti. Congratulations to Seth Moniz on a brilliant and courageous performance in the first heat of the day. If you're just joining us, Teahupo'o is actually pumping. It is borderline tow. It is as large as you can get paddle, and we will bring you a show, and we're hoping that these two surfers bring you a show. Marco Mignot up against Baron Mamiya in the second heat of the day. Heat 4, round 2 is Kuiper Girl and Flick Palmentier on the call.
Whew, these are the heats that these guys will be remembering for the rest of their lives. Like, this is a pretty iconic moment. You know, this will go down in history today, for sure.
Here we go, looking through the rain and the gloom, and we're seeing Marco Mignot with the first start here up against Baron Mamiya, the sophomore on the championship tour, 25 years old, and his second time competing in Tahiti. He got a 9th last year, so he did make it through this round last year.
He impressed me last year. So we had a similar day, right? It was like that day. Well, I don't think we ran the comm, but it was the day before the comm, and it went. You know, there was a few waves being towed. There was a few guys out there paddling, and he was one of them. Oh my goodness.
Oh, a grunting wave there. And exiting is the North Shore's Baron Mamiya. Baron, we know what he can do in big barrels.
Are you kidding me? Wow. This is amazing. But on paper, I really love this heat. I feel like, back to what I was saying about Marco, he was charging last year. I mean, he was one of those guys. I remember seeing him post to Instagram, and he said it was one of the best waves of his life the day before the comp started. And for a rookie on tour to be charging that hard was really impressive, I thought.
Yeah. Baron Mamiya, well, Marco Mignon was the Rookie of the Year last year. Baron Mamiya, 26 years old from the North Shore. And we're going to get through some of these replays right here, starting with Marco through the haze.
Oh, wow. So hard to see what's going on here. There's just so much, you know, sea mist, rain in the air right now. But yeah, beautiful wave from Marco here just to start things off. I feel like it's a good settler. I say it's a good settler. But like, you got to put it in the context of the heat, right? And what we've seen. Because, I mean, that's not even a settler. I mean, it's so hard to even say that and quantify it like that. But really in the context of today and what we've seen it is, and then behind him, Baron. So this is the second wave of the set. It's a lot cleaner. It's a lot more groomed. It's obviously a lot bigger. But yeah, beautifully surfed. Can't stress it. This guy's one of the best backhand tube riders in the world, if not the best. You know, I put him up there with Emio, just how they contort their body and the body mechanics that they're able to sort of put themselves in it. It's impressive to watch. You know, we've obviously seen him at Pipe and Backdoor and what he's been able to do out there, but it's awesome seeing it translated here to Chopes.
Well, 2 Pipe titles for Baron Mamiya, 3 overall championship tour wins for Mamiya. He did make the semifinals here in 2023, Baron, so he's had success here. 4.67 opens up for Marco Mignon. That's the opening ride. And as we wait for Baron Mamiya's score, we'll catch up with Seth Moniz with Chris Cote.
Yeah, thank you so much, team. Confidence, courage, you did it all in the opening heat of the day. Tell me what was going through your mind as you by now.
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't think it was going to be on. I was on the beach at 7 o'clock, and then, you know, they called it on, so came out straight into the heat. But I was excited. I think like my advantage would be if the waves are big and terrifying, so I think that's like the slight edge I'll get over Yago, even though he's incredible in the barrel. But yeah, it was gnarly out there.
It's hard to believe that this is your job sometimes. When you go out there, I mean, this is a heat, right? You have to use tactics, you have to use... But how much of it is competition? How much of it is just surviving and doing what you love?
Yeah, when it's big like this and dangerous, the competitive aspect kind of, we're still competitive, but it's kind of just survival and like trying to pick the right wave. So I'm not really paying attention to Yago too much. But yeah, I got the right waves, sent it on a few. My 8 I got was maybe the best wave of my life. I thought it was gonna be way higher, but oh well. I was super stoked with that one. Kind of claimed it a bit hard, but.
Now on the business side of things, you've already had 2 huge accomplishments. You took out, probably considered the world's gnarliest wild card. You just took out the reigning champion out here. You are on a roll.
Yeah, a little roll, but you know, early rounds still. I'm just gotta keep my head down and, you know, tackle the next beast. Everyone's gnarly on this tour. I think everyone on this tour can win a world title and has the potential, so it's just the name of the game. So yeah, rest up. Hopefully we're on back later.
Right on. Thank you for that show. Congratulations. Seth Moniz on a roll.
All right, well, Seth Moniz, can't wait to see what Seth's going to do in the rest of this competition here. Meanwhile, during that interview, we did get the score for Baron Mamiya. It comes in at a 7.17. I want to see that score, and there it is, Flick.
It's so crazy, right? Like, I'm finding it so hard to believe that all these waves that are turning inside out are just 10s. Like, I understand why they're not 10s. And I feel like that's what, to Seth's point too, is like, I feel like it could have gone higher because it's so hard to, I know there's a scale today, obviously there is, but when the waves get this big and this chunky and this hard to read, you just feel like every wave that people complete is just like an absolute win, right?
Yeah, it's a celebration, right?
It is, it's such a celebration because I just can't stress enough, like how death-defying, how scary it is to have the courage to really put your head down and commit to a wave like this, to not have hesitation.
Here's 7.17.
I know, it's like, oh, this is just a 7,
I mean,
you know.
Baron.
This is just a 7, and I mean, you look at how beautifully he surfed this wave, how technical it was, the arm drag, the takeoff. I mean, the power behind something like this, I mean, this is so hard to do. Obviously, you've got to set a scale. I understand that, but it really is a celebration every time you make it to that channel and you make it there safely.
Yeah, and another thing that you pointed out was in that exchange between Marco Mignot and Baron Mamiya. Baron was on the second wave of the set, the cleaner wave. We actually had Kelly Slater, a conversation with Kelly yesterday, where Kelly said, well, obviously, Maramu wins. You need to take the second wave of the set. You need to let that first wave kind of clean the floor, sweep everything up, bring out the mop, and then the second wave of the set, much cleaner stage.
Totally. I think, you know, any time that there's a little bit more wind or, you know, a bit more turbulent waters, that's got to be in the forefront of your mind, the second wave of the set. Also, you've got to be thinking maybe the first one's a little bit smaller, second one, that's going to be that bit bigger.
Yeah, let's take a look at the head-to-head matchups between these two. They've matched up 4 times, and actually the advantage to Marco Mignot, their last matchup in the Vivo Rio Pro, where Marco took that win, the 3rd win over Seth Moniz. Every category, you can see Marco Mignot has the advantage over Baron Mamiya, but when we talk about Marco and Baron, I feel, has the advantage in this particular heat. Yeah,
that was where I was going to go with this for sure. I mean, you know, it's a lot of matchups really for only a couple of years for Marco, or really 1 full year of being on tour. Yeah. And you know, you think probably where those matchups have happened, obviously Rio, beach break. But yeah, today out here, obviously you got to give it to Baron. I mean, I did mention before, I was really impressed with what I saw from Marco out here last year. I was unsure. I mean, I know he has a crack all the time, but I was unsure of, like, on that day what surfers from the CT were actually going to be putting themselves out there, and he was one of those surfers.
And that's what Tahiti unveils, right? When you think about certain surfers, you're like, oh, he's an air guy, he's a beach break guy, and then they come over here and you see them tackle bombs. You're like, whoa, this guy has a broader. It's a chance for these surfers to show their broader skill set, and it comes down to really over here again. It comes down to really just bravery.
Yeah, that's the best thing about having Waves of Consequence on the tour. The best thing is that it inspires people to push themselves beyond where they thought their level was possible to go to. It is so important to have these sort of places, you know, on the championship tour.
Speaking of Waves of Consequence, haunted house right here. Sea Monster going. That is a toe-only wave. I don't think it's possible to get the velocity to paddle down that face.
It had no entry point. Oh. There is no entry point. The entry point is via a jet ski with a tow rope.
Oh, yeah. Fish are hiding right now underwater, heading to deeper water. They want nothing to do with this reef right now. Wow.
But it is, like, back to what I was saying, having these places on the championship tour, you know, your Waves of Consequence, it really does push people beyond what they thought was possible, their own limits. And they're the moments in sport, in surfing, that you look to, you know, as like a little kid. There'll be kids watching out, there'll be groms watching this. You know, you surf, your everyday surfers watching this, that it inspires other people to go push themselves more as well. So there's no secret. These are my favourite stops to commentate. These are my favourite stops to watch as well as a spectator.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
It's entertainment, and it's just, it takes away kind of, we're appreciating the technicality of the barrel riding and everything, but I feel like even a layperson, even someone who's not super zoomed into surfing can appreciate this, because it's the gladiator pit. Here we go. Quick one there, but maybe some consequence.
Everyone can look at a big wave and go, surfer, big wave, risk.
Yeah.
But it is really hard to sometimes, you know, break it, as we see Jeremy Flores in the channel laughing.
Jezza just thinks it's funny.
Obviously, absolute specialist out here, done so well.
Past winner.
Past winner. But yeah, so many people can appreciate that. It's so easy and relatable for your average everyday punter who doesn't know much about surfing to understand the risk involved in this. Yeah. Sometimes it's hard to understand surfing when you're trying to talk about turns and explain that to people, but this is very easy to explain.
Yeah, I agree.
You just have to show that shot before of the tow wave.
Yeah.
Consequence, right there.
Yeah. Jeremy having a good time out there, but it's not all smiles, is it, Strider?
You know what? It's not. Just an interesting juxtaposition to that last heat, you know, with Iago and with Seth. Like, they were smiling, you know, they were happy with their surfing. You could see there was the emotion of joy and maybe smiling through the fear, so to speak. But in this heat, these boys, they're both completely straight-faced and business and just paddling by, and there's no intention to interact with anybody or anything except for what they need to do. And so I feel like this is a much in the mindset athletes and business as you should be in way.
Yeah, thank you, Strider. Yeah, you're right. It's an important heat for both Baron Mamiya and Marco Mignola. Really important heat actually for Baron, as he sits number 22 on the championship tour ranking. So he's right on that imaginary cut line in the back of at this back half of the year. He wants to get above and gives him some padding between that cut line that we're going to see happening at the end of the year.
I also think it speaks to how people process fear as well. Like, some people like to be in that fun, like sort of more playful mode, and that's how they can sort of bring out their warrior, you know, and or that's their ultimate place to be in. But some people really process fear and like what's in ahead of them by being very serious and very focused. And, you know, if you think about, I can think of a comparison right now. It's like your Jack Robinson, very focused, very locked in, very zen. And then you've got someone like a Griffin Colapinto who maybe will do some silly things or like activate a different kind of his personality. And I feel like it just speaks to how people lock into this moment and also process it as well. And everyone has different styles of doing that.
And everyone's got a battle between their ears right now today, no matter what. I mean, you talk to Seth after that first heat win. He was as surprised as I was that we're running today. He was saying, like, probably too big, can't see us going out there. And then we got the call, boom, 7 o'clock, it's on.
Yeah.
And that's why at the beginning of this show, Flick, I just said that this is possibly going to be a defining day in professional surfing, because it's big and also because it's not perfect. It's mongrelly out there. It's angry. It's heavy. It's radical.
Yeah, it's such a different beast. Obviously, it's so scary still when it's perfect, but when it's perfect out here, there's literally sometimes not a drop of water out of place. So much easier to read, as we see.
Smiley Connor O'Leary.
That doesn't surprise me.
He's taking the happy approach to his matchup with Felipe Toledo, which we'll see next.
That doesn't surprise me that Connor absolutely charges. He really does. Goofy being on the forehand too.
And he's a fun guy, right? Like, he had this turning in his career where he realized, you know what? It's okay for me to have a beer. It's okay. Like, I don't have to be in the gym 24/7. I can just kind of be a surfer, you know? And it actually worked out better. He's had his best years since he kind of made that mental adjustment.
Well, I think that just sort of speaks to what I was saying before. It's like everyone goes about things differently, and you don't have to conform just because one person is showing up like this and winning and competing like that doesn't mean that also works for you. And I feel like that's obviously what Connor's figured out, and it's cool to see. So
not everyone needs headphones.
No.
It's what you see typically in any kind of situation where we have a dry land Red Bull athlete zone. Everyone with their headphones on.
But sometimes maybe people aren't listening to anything. It's just that people don't talk to them. Yeah, that's what I used to do.
That's what I do. I do that in airports. Yeah. All right. Well, you know what? It's been kind of a tense moment, I feel, for these two, because when you look at a heat like Seth and Yago, where it's rapid fire and guys are surfing a lot of waves, there's a rhythm that gets start up, right? And now it's really hard for these two to start a rhythm, because we're halfway through this heat with just 2.5 waves ridden.
Yeah. I think too, it depends. I think sometimes in moments like this, when you're waiting, when it's really scary and there's big sets coming through and you have a long time between the break of that rhythm that you've kind of locked into at the start, it can be sometimes like a bit hard to sort of throw yourself over the ledge again. I think you also obviously want to be selective though too. I think these guys have sort of made the most of the opportunities that they've had. I think maybe there was a bit more consistency in that first heat too of rideable waves available.
Yeah.
I think these guys have pretty much done a pretty good job.
And a big opportunity right now for Baron Mamiya to execute on this, having heat control. He's got a valuable score of a 7.17. He's just got a throwaway backup, so he's got priority. So if he backs up that 7.17 with a similar performance, then he's really going to put Marco on the ropes, maybe even into a combo.
Yeah, you got to be thinking that too. I think just with his level of comfortability in waves like this too, I think it's a very similar story to someone like Seth when we heard him with Cote saying, you know, I had a really hard heat against Iago, but when I look, he's like, the bigger the better for me. The more ugly, the better for me. You know, I feel like I would have the edge there, and I feel like it's the same for Barron right now. He wants it to be big, he wants it to be unruly, because obviously that level of comfortability for him is a lot higher probably, you know, and also let's think about experience and time spent doing this sort of thing. I mean, Barron grew up, you know, on the North Shore. This is like second nature for him.
Where he's able to really fine-tune boards for extreme conditions like Tahiti, like Pipeline. Barron working with Channel Islands, developing a special model with Britt Merrick, who's actually here, the Goldie model, which has been Barron's go-to model in heavy waves as his step up. And Barron's also pretty famously for riding really small equipment in really big waves. I think the biggest board he ever takes out to a place like Sunset Beach is a 6'4", and maybe the biggest board he takes out to Pipe would be like a 6'2".
Yeah, it's pretty interesting really when you think about it like that, but obviously it really works for him, and I'd be actually really interested. Might message Britt right now to see what he's riding.
All right. Hey,
we'll get back to you on that.
You know what, Flick, just because I'm curious of what the conditions are going to do, so we dialed up with Charlotte Perry from Surfline to have a forecast and see what today brings and what the rest of the window brings.
The next few days of the window will have no shortage of size. The strongest swell of the event picked up overnight and peaks today, size straddling the tow paddle range thanks to a large, impressive storm pushing directly towards Teahupo'o over the last few days. Elevated southeasterly trades are expected all day, and the wind makes for a challenging landscape, but there will be a few impressive tubes working through. You just have to dodge those tow bombs. Surf remains solid and on the outer ledge Monday as wind gradually improves. Then Tuesday through Thursday looks like the best window of sizing conditions on the slate before a trend to less favorable southerly angled swells.
All right, love that. So good news that we have in our forecast. Thank you, Schaller. He was very casual though when he said you just have to dodge those tow bombs.
Oh, no big deal. Just dodge those. You'll be right.
Oh man, but we have not seen one of those bombing tow sets yet. And you know, when you get the rhythm of the ocean, for me, Flick, sometimes the bigger the lull,
the scarier
the bigger the set.
I know.
It's just like it's just loading up. As we wait for the end of the road to load up, we're going to take a break. Felipe Toledo, he's preparing for his matchup against Connor O'Leary in heat number 5. More action from Tahiti after these messages.
Want to talk vintage? Let's talk 2002, Andy Irons. The man who set the standard finally got his Tahiti CT victory at the perfect moment in a pivotal year. At Teahupo'o, the free surfs that year were all-time. The swell was absolutely pumping, and the broken board tally was record-breaking. A wipeout in the free surfs had Andy Irons shook. The Kauaian charged his way through the draw with grit to face Australian goofy footer Luke Egan in the final. With conditions dropping during the final, many touted Egan as the favorite on his forehand. AI heard none of it. Muscling his way through a small one, Irons put a 6-4 on the board to get the heat started. Then, as if by fate, backing it up with the only meaningful tube of the final, Andy used his signature backside tube stall, wrangled the foam ball for a 9-point ride. Luke put his head down and did his best to try to wrestle the heat back, but it was all too late. As if preordained, Irons' determination to dominate the Tahitian contest paid off. In the channel, after the horn, it was all love. Irons showed his respect for Egan as Luke nursed his wounds. 2002 Tahiti cemented Andy Irons at the top of the rankings on his way to his first ASP World title.
So cool, 2002 Andy Irons, slick on that HIC Arakawa board. Andy came back again in 2010 as we look at our past champions. Flick at one name that I see up here on this list a lot, actually 5 times, Kelly Slater.
And you know what? We have the joy of watching him potentially again today if the contest keeps running. Matched up against another name on there, Gabriel Medina.
Yep. Jack Robinson with a pair of wins here at the end of the road. You got to call Robo one of the favorites here in Tahiti. So we got a great day for you. We got monumental waves, and it's just another legendary run here in Tahiti. Thank you for joining us at the Outerknown Tahiti Pro. Back to live action with just 9 minutes remaining and only 4 waves ridden between Baron Mamiya and Marco Mignot. Baron still holding on to that priority, controlling the heat. And here we go with Marco Mignot. Tucks under and in and out for the French surfer.
Look, he's only chasing. Oh my goodness.
Oh my.
Oh.
And Baron down the elevator shaft he jumps and now has to deal with a torrential hold down and perhaps another wave in the back there for Baron Mamiya.
Oh man, that's tough. Where is he? He seems to be all right.
Nothing.
There he is.
It's nothing for Baron Mamiya. He pops right out the back, paddles out. Strider, how was that?
That was super impressive. I mean, we all know that the pen up is your go-to move when you're falling from the sky, and what happens is you penetrate in enough, and then the wave implodes and pushes you out the back. It's kind of a scientific equation, but it's what happens. The water gets trapped and the air gets trapped, and then it pushes you back out the other way instead of taking you in, and that's just what that happened right there for Baron. Baron, just so you guys know, I know Kaipo, you were talking about the surfboard sizes. Baron's actually on a 6'4" Goldie, which is, pretty much the biggest board you're going to see him ride, I feel like. And Marco is on a 6'8" by JS, so big board out there for Marco, but Marco's saying that he loved that size when he got a good one this morning before the event started.
Thank you, Strider. I love when Flick Strider gets scientific on us right there.
Scientific equation. I love that. That was good, Strider.
Well done by Baron Mamiya, though, just to get right back out and reestablish priority over Marco Mignot. Marco did take the lead with a 3.17 right here.
Oh, he was only chasing a small score, and this is a really relatively short tube in today's context for sure, but he's got the lead, 3.17. But it's just so crazy when you're looking at waves like this, and it's probably like the best 3.17 you ever score in your life, right? Like, are you kidding me? But
get that wave, I pack my bags and go home.
Yeah, okay, I've done Tahiti now. I can tick jokes off the bucket list.
But look at Baron behind.
Man, this is tough. But this is the scientific equation that Strider's talking about. The pin drop there, that is definitely the go-to to try and get pushed out the back instead of detonated through the inside. More often than not, it does work. So, but you're not going to be feeling safe right now with Marco in the lead because, you've got one of the best backhand tube riders in the world, if not the best, only chasing a 0.67. I mean, these are these moments we were talking about beforehand when you've got to position yourself there's not that much time left on the clock. It's potentially going to come down to a moment where Barron's going to have to be sniffing out a smaller wave. So position yourself a little bit further in on the reef on that inside ledge, but then you've got to put, it's the biggest game of cat and mouse, because you could be in there and then, like we said earlier, there hasn't been one of those big tow sets for quite some time. So this is going to be interesting. Is he going to stick to his guns and stay out the back here? Or, you know, it's probably going to be one of those touch and go moments at some point as this time and the clock ticks down, where he's potentially going to have to make a decision like that, because you don't want to lose only needing a 0.67 today. He's got the highest wave of the heat so far, that 717, the opening wave. But yeah, it's scary having to make that decision to be like, okay, just back yourself and go in there and get a small 6-footer.
Yeah. And to your point, like, it's difficult too, because it's not like you can paddle down the point or to another peak down the beach. No. You're still kind of right in the center of it, you know?
Yep.
So it will be decision time for Barron Mamiya. I'm sure Barron's happy and to wind down the clock right now before he turns the heat, but Marco technically is in the lead.
Yeah, the other thing you got to be thinking too is, like, I think Barron's pretty versed. He wants that second wave of the set. We saw him do that at the beginning stage of this heat with Marco. You got to maybe be thinking, even if it's a 2-wave set, like you take off on one, Marco's potentially taking off on the next one as well, or if not the first one, the one you don't want. So there's every chance that Marco improves on his situation too.
Yeah. Well, this is what it comes down to. And I feel like the wind's kicked up a little bit here. So that adds to another challenge. So it's not a layup for Barron Mamiya needing just that fractional score. Here comes some sets coming through, and positioning and just completion of a ride is going to be a key for Mamiya to turn this heat.
So tough right now. I just feel like you're going to be taking these deep breaths, right, and really coming back to your center, because...
So we were playing on the whole, like, clutch stat, right? So if Barron turns his heat, it's under 5 minutes. Technically, this is a clutch
moment,
heat.
for sure.
And this has got to be nerve-wracking, Flick. Just sitting there and anticipating something that you're not guaranteed to make the wave. You're not guaranteed. He's waving to the tower, not guaranteed even to make the drop.
I know. I mean, look, but maybe for not even making a drop, you still do drop a 0.67. But look, it looks like there maybe is sets on the horizon here. So let's have a look. They're paddling over the first one. Oh my God! Oh my God!
Whatever it's going to be, it's going to be. This wave number 2 is going to be a heavy one for Barron. The Hawaiian eyes it up here.
Whoa.
And decides not to go. That one just had way too much of a double up on it.
Oh my. Is there another wave? So hard to see with all this sea mist too. I mean, that's another thing you got to factor in. On days like this, when the ocean gets so big, like the salt is being flung into the air. Oh my gosh. Holy, what the hell?
Just below sea level, crazy wave coming down. It's a freight train. And those ones kind of coming even more from a more southerly angle, but they're still draining on the reef in probably a foot of water.
The lip on that thing was about 3 foot thick.
Yeah.
That was unbelievable. My goodness. But yeah, it's getting down to that moment where, I mean, it's literally just a takeoff. It's a tube. It's a small tube. It's not an easy feat today, though. I mean, it is so hard to try and identify the wave that, you know, it's going to have an entry point. It's going to let you in.
Yeah, this would be tragic for Barron Mamiya if he's not able to get on this. You can see his positioning, and he's doing what you were talking about, Flick. He's going to paddle further in and further over and just maybe get a medium one.
Oh, just a small 6-footer. Go on. Oh, my gosh. That one gurgling through the inside.
Let's get to Strider.
Sorry about that, guys. Just getting reset. The water after those big sets that you just saw, they were absolute gutters, and there was no entry into those waves, and they were pushing so much water that the entire lineup moved. I mean, water just gushing out into the channel, pushing all the boats and everybody else backwards. It's on. Here we go. Felipe Toledo paddling by. This is just intense out here with everything that's moving around and the amount of water that we're dealing with today. It's next level. Well, and I think there's a set coming.
All right, so we're going to Anticipate a set. We're down to 90 seconds for Baron Mamiya to just get a 1-point ride, basically, to turn the heat. Mamiya's paddled way to the inside. Here we go. Baron tucks in and comes out. Got the job done right there, Flick.
Oh, yeah, so he's got the score, but nervous times now, just looking out behind him. See, Marco's obviously going to require a score now. Is there going to be a set in this last minute?
Yeah, Marco's probably going to be required, you know, at least a... Oh, Baron came in pretty low, but enough to turn the heat right now. Enough to turn the heat for Mamiya. A 1.9. Now Marco needs a 4.41. Now we saw what a 1.9 looks like, Flick. So 4.41 actually has to have some barrel time.
Totally, and I mean, even if you think it back to Marco's last wave, the 317, it's got to be better than that too, right? And that was a bit more of a sizier wave. So judges are asking a bit of you if you want to score, you know, over that 4-point range. Kind of looks like there might be maybe. Don't know if this is going to give an opportunity or not.
Almost, this one, I feel like it's a must go, or else the clock's going to run down. Think about the interval between these waves.
Oh, the next one, maybe.
I always think 20 seconds.
Oof.
Maybe 16 seconds between these shorter period ones. And that's going to be it.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my.
Well, put it as a clutch heat for Baron Mamiya. The clock was running down, needed a small score, and Baron made it happen with that needy 1.9. So Mamiya off into the channel and on to round number 3.
Whew, that was just smart, right? He had to go. He had to take off on a smaller wave there. But yeah, wow. It's just so exciting. I need to go down, calm down for a bit, Piper.
We'll let you go calm down, Flick, and we'll prepare for the next heat. Baron Mamiya on to round number 3, and we're on to a break. When we return, we'll have Joe Turpel, Jesse Mendez talk you through the action here at the Outerknown Tahiti Pro, presented by IC.
Okay, and for the previous hit, congratulations to Baron Mamiya.
The islands of Tahiti are truly magical, especially when the waves are pumping and your name's Baron Mamiya and you know you've got a chance to surf with one of your best friends in the world. Seth Moniz in the next round, in round 3. Baron, one of the best tube riders in the world, has done a lot of strike missions over here to Chopes, one of his best friends, Matahi Jolay. Well, invites him over to stay at his house, and it works the other way too. Matahi comes over to the North Shore, stays with Barron, so he's basically in his second home out here. Thanks for being with us. What a monumental day for the season at pumping conditions at Teahupo'o. Joe Turpel with former CT standout Jesse Mendez. Jesse, these are the days where no one gets any sleep. You're wondering if we're going to be on, and I think Lobby set the tone this morning for us in the free surf. Liam O'Brien got a crazy one, showing us that it was going to be all systems go today.
It's all his fault. For all of those that didn't want to surf today, Lob was the one that made it happen, and thankfully for us, because obviously it's terrifying out there, but we're just watching and having a good time. But I'm sure a bunch of them are very excited to be having an opportunity to get the wave of their life today on a jersey.
Brand new heat getting started. By the way, Jesse, happy Father's Day to yourself. It is Father's Day in Brazil. Happy Father's Day to Felipe and Connor O'Leary, and also to Felipe's dad back home. Felipe dropped a great post for Ricardinho, a two-time Brazilian national champ, as he's preparing for the biggest day of the season so far and the biggest day of our waiting period. Felipe, a two-time world champ, is looking at all these waves come through, and it's a matter of where you let it go. If it's just has no entry with these toe sets coming through, and when you're going to try to pick your line to try to get a completion. A lot at stake for these two guys today.
I mean, it's there's some of those waves that you can tell just on the screen that they're not paddleable. Like, even sometimes they swing a little bit underneath. They come from deeper. They come with so much energy and so fast that there's no time.
Strider Wazalewski, that thing looked crazy going by you.
Oh, I was puking. I was just watching that thing just grind in, and there was no entry. That was a tow wave, 100%, and all the water's moving as well is getting deeper in the interval or something, because they're just coming into the stream. They're standing stuff so square and so heavy. I'm just watching them just grind down the reef right now, and it's one of those days that, you know, you've got to. Luke Thompson in his interview said it best. You have to trust your ability and your physical and mental. Oh my gosh, look at this wave, dude. Oh my gosh. Oh! I gotta get out of here.
There are toe sets just unloading here at Teahupo'o. Strider Wazalewski on the inside section, paddling to the safety of the channel. Meanwhile, Toledo and Connor O'Leary sitting out the back, just scratching their heads going, what are we going to do out here? I don't know if these guys watch scary movies, but they're in one.
I mean, it's so terrifying when you're in that situation where there are tow waves. Because you can get caught off guard. You can paddle for the first one. You could see the first one came in. They didn't even look at it, but you could tell the second one was coming much bigger. And if they would have paid attention to it, they would have caught by this wave. And what do you do when that happens, Joe? Like, literally just spray and can't even duck dive. You got to take your leash off, actually, and then just try and swim underneath. Because if you try and duck dive, you get over.
Well, just the power of the ocean and the phenomenon that is Teahupo'o. It's a slab, a natural slabbing scenario that comes out of severe deep water into an abrupt shelf, that shallow reef. And it's not like the wave is breaking like some waves do around the world. The ocean's folding on top of itself. And it's oftentimes backless with so much power that takes you straight down. I mean, the fear element involved on a day like today, on a scale of 1 to 10, Jesse, where are we going?
12.
We're breaking the scale.
I'm not even paddling out. Are you kidding me? And the crazy thing about it, the split-second decision that they got to take, you can't really see the sets coming when you're sitting there. This is a very unique shelf that it's very shallow, but it goes into very deep water just by the boats or outside of the surfers. So you don't see the swell moving in so much. You see people screaming from the boat, and then all of a sudden it steps in front of you, and it's just a black wall that you gotta just decide, is this big enough for me to paddle or not? And that one definitely showing us that it's not paddleable.
Unbelievable. Nature showing what it's capable of here at Teahupo'o, a place that has provided unbelievable moments for now 25 years of the championship tour. It reminds you of those early moments where everyone was wondering if it was even surfable. Kind of, you know, it was thought to be maybe a slab for bodyboarders around the world. Maybe you didn't have enough time. This is in those early strikes with guys like Mike Stewart, things have changed so quickly in the evolution on what's actually paddleable, how people are looking at this wave. And for Felipe and Connor, they're dealing with that fear element while they're doing their job for world title points. As we watch another one just unloading past Strider on the inside shelf.
So that's a good point that you brought it up, Joe. Like, so you're paddling out for a heat, you're terrified for your life, but you're also trying to make a strategy to be smart and make smart decisions and get the 2 best waves of the heat. So there's a lot added to the situation and the scenario for those 2 surfers, or for every surfer paddling out today. So you're trying to get excited, you're trying not to be so terrified, and there are all the elements around you, still trying to make a heat. So on top of each other, it's the best worst feeling in the world.
Connor O'Leary has been out here for a bit on tour now, a total seasoned veteran these days. Had a couple of good runs in his early strikes, 3 in a row where he was getting equal ninths, but he ended up always running into just a giant out here like Medina, like Kelly, like Flores in his first 3 starts out here. When we focus just on these 2 competitors, they've had 6 previous CT matchups. Felipe won 4 in a row. So it was 4-0 at one stage, and Connor's got their last 2, including a big semi-final clash on the Gold Coast in Australia. When the waves are pumping, and in my mind, Felipe was the guy to beat. He brought a whole new set of high-performance moves to Snapper Rocks this year, and Connor was the man to stop him in the semifinals.
Yeah, it's crazy. The last 2, also Jay Bay was the one before, and the most dominant surfer on those 2 waves the last few years have been Felipe. So props to Connor, and now I feel like the panel just changed, and the guy to beat in this scenario, even though he's on the blue jersey, is Connor with the conditions we have on offer. Obviously Felipe has proven that he can get pretty barreled, but Connor has more experience surfing these conditions, likes these conditions even better. So yeah.
Winner of the last heat, Baron Mamiya over Marco Mignot. Baron's on the boat with Chris Cote.
Yeah, thank you guys. Baron Mamiya is one of the few surfers on the planet that sees waves like this and actually get excited, but I also know you're a human being. Tell me how scary it is out there, and how do you overcome the fear and paddle into those monsters?
Yeah, I mean, just like this day is like pretty scary in general. Just pouring rain, it's cloudy, it's freezing, and then on top of that, there's 15-foot like massive tow waves coming in, and I don't know. That was like honestly like a really weird heat. Like the heat before was like absolutely firing. Like I watched Seth get so many good barrels, and I was like, okay, we're on. Like there wasn't that many huge ones coming in. And then I kind of, when our heat started, I got my first good wave, and I was like, okay, I just need to get another one of those. And then I basically sat there the rest of the heat, and like there was just huge waves after huge waves coming in. I'm like, dude, I can't like go on these waves. Like if I try and paddle for one of these waves, there's a really good chance I'm going over the falls and getting absolutely pounded, breaking my board and going all the way around. But like I was getting to a point at the end of the heat, I only need like a whatever, like a 0.6, and I was like, are you kidding me right now? Am I gonna really lose with just needing a 0.6? And I was like, I'm gonna be like a meme if I go on the inside and do turns when it's 20-foot jumps to get a 0.6. And I was like, okay, let's just find like a little tiny head dip and get like a 1, and you'll be good. And that's what I kind of did at the end, and then it just kind of went like, it's just been massive sets after that. Like I think this heat is consistent, like huge sets coming in.
Yeah, we're right on the edge of Code Red out there. Coming up next, you got your buddy Seth Moniz. What do you do after surviving a heat like that and then having to put your competitive mindset back on and go back out there and do it again?
Yeah, when the jersey goes on, you know, it's game time, and if a bomb comes in, I need a score. I mean, obviously we're gonna go. Me and Seth are, you know, we grew up in Hawaii and grew up surfing pipe, and we love getting big barrels, so it's gonna be a fun heat. Yeah, it's just, he had an insane heat. Obviously there's super good waves, so I'm just hoping that it pumps and we get real, you know, sick waves. Not too big, but like good enough size for us to, you know, really push the limit and get some big scores.
Right on. Surviving and thriving, Baron Mamiya. On to the next.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. I just want to say hi to my fiance and everyone back home. Love you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Baron Mamiya. Just what a great chat there, just to get some insight of what they're going through right now. Barron has one of the craziest reputations in the world in slamming waves, and for him to see the challenge there and seeing the tow waves that are coming through that are just, in his mind, basically not makeable at the moment, being smart about it. He was very smart at the end, getting the score he needed, playing the game well, and getting the shot to surf in round 3.
And the crazy thing about it that he was mentioning, after that first wave, the 7 that he had, he set through a period of time just kind of letting waves go that he thought it looked not paddleable. So there's a borderline where we're just reaching that size that it's paddle day, but there's in between waves that are surfable, paddleable. So you just imagine yourself sitting out there with all this tension going on, and you have to decide, is this a wave that it's makeable for a paddle or not? And having to put yourself over that ledge and risk inside of a jersey.
Pretty crazy scenario out here for the athletes, and also a big day for all of our broadcast crew. Just a big shout out to all of our camera operators that are working through some very intense elements. I was talking to Dueno Fetch on the land yesterday. He said it was the gnarliest day he's ever been a part of capturing surfing. You know, you're constantly moving. Guys like Jono is having to clean his screen every 2 seconds because you're getting drilled by rain, you're getting drilled by the spit of these 20-footers, and you're not stopping with the movement of the boat and the motion. Well, he skipped breakfast this morning for a good reason, and he is just going to be focused on the lineup to bring you images of a pretty crazy day for pro surfing. From Sammy, from Jono, from Hux, Thomas, Rod, Cy, all of our camera operators out there. You guys are heroes today, bringing us all this incredible action. Meanwhile, we're starting to think about if we'll get a fresh clock for these guys. And I think it would be fair because the waves that came through might not have been paddleable, Jesse. We'll see in about 10 seconds.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think there's any entry on those waves, and those guys were smart enough to let those ones go.
So 3, 2, 1, we're here at the 20-minute mark, and it looks like the clock will restart at 35. So this thing starting all over again for Felipe Toledo and Connor O'Leary. Connor looking to get into the final series at Chopes for the first time in his career, where Felipe's made the semifinals once in the past. As we know, Felipe has been talking to us about, you know, this being a really tough event for him over his career, having those tough years where he's had a 0-point total going back to 2015, and having to look at that and take those extra trips out here and getting some reef scars along the way, making the Olympic team to represent Brazil. And then there's like a giant West Day that was just monumental in Teahupo'o history. So for him, he's back out there staring at in the eye of the beast and trying to push himself, knowing that he's a favorite to win at basically every other event on the calendar, and knows if he can get a few heat wins here and maybe get the best one of his career out here, that could really change everything moving forward.
Totally, and the reps is what makes the difference. It's training your brain to get used to what's in front of you. So for him to come all those years outside of a jersey just to practice it and have someone like Matahi on his corner to help him out, figure out the lineup, it just helps and tells your brain, hey, this is makeable. I can look at this in a different way, and it's worked out to his favor. He has great results here. He had, I think, a semi-finals before, and it's working. Let's see on a day like today. It's a whole different beast, but looks like he's having a look at that one.
Felipe Toledo's out there in the red jersey. Just took a couple of paddles to see if that one was doable. You're watching it unload underneath him. Positioning so interesting, where you can sit, what you can get away with on a day like today. Jesse, are you ever going to leave that outside ledge?
Oh, to go underneath and try and, yeah, definitely not. Like, I don't think it's healthy. I think you're going to get super smoked. But that one, it was kind of a wave that they chose not to go, which I thought was a bit interesting, mostly for Connor. He'd set in kind of a decent spot for it. Maybe he thought it was a bit too small and it was going to be one of those that didn't have enough energy. But today, it's one of those days that the ocean itself is folding towards the second the second ledge, so the outside ledge. So might have been a little bit of a missed opportunity there for those surfers. Felipe, on the other hand, he had a look, but he paddled a bit before he positioned himself a bit further up, so he couldn't get underneath enough to see that wave. But it looked like it was manageable. Definitely the most manageable wave I've seen it so far in this heat on the screen.
It's an interesting sport, isn't it, Jesse? Where these guys are in competition, and you'd imagine every other sport in the world, they prepare for something constant, like they've been there before. If it's their field, if it's a skateboard park, or, you know, or snowboarding, they've looked at what they're going to be competing on. You know, on a day like today, there's surfers in the draw that may have never surfed chopes like this before, and there's probably quite a few. It's an interesting part of the World Tour where this could be a first. Tell themselves mentally that they're ready for basically the unknown.
Well, this size doesn't always happen. It's like happens a few times a year. So for it to land right in the window of our event, look at this wave. It's just psycho right now. So this was a bit of a deeper wave with this wind now. You really want those west ones because it's going to fold back towards the wind and clean up a bit more. So if you see those more south angled ones up the reef, they even get more chandelier and sketchier. So they really need to pick and choose what they're looking for out there.
Charlotte Perry from Surfline letting us know the largest swell of the window peaking today in that borderline toe paddle range. I think we've seen basically a lot of toe sets so far in this matchup with a restart of this 35-minute clash, but that strong southeast Maramu winds that you're seeing are just relentless and severely picking up from what we saw this morning, Jesse. This morning it was actually kind of light. We saw Lobby get that crazy one in the free surf. Seth was just brilliant, and Iago in that first performance today. But I'd say with this increase of this southeast wind, it's making it look even more terrifying.
And I think one thing that's setting it up in this screen is it was very easy for us to see. With all this energy, with the swell kind of building, we've seen it much more no paddle waves. So all that water starts to go from up the reef down towards the end of where it kind of breaks it up and makes it an exit for the surfers to actually enter a wave. So right there you can see all that white water and that noise coming from up the point from all those toe sets. So it makes it even more crumbly and more noise in the lineup, creating way less traction for the surfers and way less paddle time and reaction for them to identify and surf a wave.
So for Connor O'Leary in blue, he's actually the lower seed now, wearing that blue jersey, even though he had the big final appearance back on the Gold Coast, runner-up to Ethan Ewing in front of that huge crowd. Since then, he's struggled just making a heat. He's had 3 straight round 2 losses, from Raglan all the way to the last event in Brazil, where he lost to Morgan Siblick. So we've seen his ranking slide down. We're used to him being not just in the top 10, but top 5. And he's into this event 15th in the world, where last year he finished in the top 8, missed out on the final 5 in that old format. But he was letting us know he was just finding the fun and rhythm after a year off of the tour this year, trying to find himself on a finals day where he can get a shot to pick up a win this season. All that stuff's out of his mind, and he's just trying to see what he can do to survive in this matchup. Connor O'Leary is in the corner with Richard Dog Marsh, and Strider Wazalewski is with Dog.
Yes, I am, and well, the Dog is, you know, there's a fine line to walk out there at the moment, but there has been a wave or two that looked like they were approachable.
Yeah, there was a couple in the first 5 minutes that I think he could have had a sneaky look at. Just the sets are so big and so west, they're terrifying. So it's kind of where do you position yourself? I understand why no one's taken off in this heat. I feel like the sets have been bigger than anything we've seen this morning.
I'm scared. Can you imagine how they feel out there? Was there a deep, a preheat brief going into this?
Yeah, for sure. We're looking for the mid-size ones. I would like to see Connor a little bit deeper. But again, when those sets come, you just got to reposition around them. So I don't think he's sitting exactly where he'd like to sit, but sort of sitting where he has to sit, if you know what I mean.
Sounds like the wave is dictating the day. So we'll get back to watching that, but thank you for your time.
Always.
Thank you, Strider. Thank you, Richard Dog Marsh. Richard, been working with Connor O'Leary for a very long time now. Interesting, Jesse. Looking for the mid-size ones. Those are still 10 foot plus on the face, and still just so big and treacherous. But the last thing you want is chase one of those and then see a tow set landing right on your head. And even yesterday, when it wasn't this big, the amount of beatings that we saw go down was really severe. Cole Hausman told me it was the worst wipeout of his entire life. We saw Matthew McGillivray just charging, but 2 giant wipeouts where he did 2 trips around the lagoon, and that was his heat. So with more intensity, more wind today, you can see why they're being really, really selective right now.
I mean, it's terrifying out there. And Dog mentioned, like, he would like for him to be positioned. There was a strategy to be positioned a little bit deeper on the smaller ones, which, like you mentioned, they're still 10 foot. But he's kind of survival mode. Like, you have to position yourself and to get these ones and dodge the big ones.
Connor going deep on this one. That is not a mid-sized wave, but on a day like today, well, it could be. That one swallows him up. But a solid one there. 10-footer just folding on top of Connor, doing his best to get the exit. You see him pop up now. He'll take the deep breath and wear this one on the head. And Tahitian Water Patrol are starting to head his direction. All led by their captain, Moana David, who's patrolling into the channel, making sure everyone's safe there as well. 4 different teams of impact drivers and grabbers that are available for the best in the world. And now Connor back in the channel and a very intense 1.5.
and actually, I thought that was very brilliant from him. Great wave choice. You can see this one sneaking underneath a little bit more, so it gave him an easy entry for the reality of today, but he was a bit too deep. That west bow folded towards him and just bottomed out. You could see he just disappeared all of a sudden. He's gonna do this one pump right here, actually gain a lot of ground, but as the wave starts to vortex around him, he disappears. That previous angle, we could see that it's just there's air underneath and it just sucks you under, and the board disappear underneath you, and he just goes straight to the bottom. But great effort for him. Just needed a wave to help him and held a little bit longer for him to do 1 or 2 pumps into that west bow.
So Connor O'Leary paddling back out. The instructions from the Tahitian Water Patrol is for the surfers to get rid of their leash, lose their boards before the pickup, so it doesn't get tangled around the reef, so their legs don't get pulled off, and they can use their speed to gun out of that situation, and then they will go grab the board that was released. So there's that board that Connor started off on from Darren Hanley, went straight to Dog for his backup board, and still has 24 minutes to go. Taking a look, deciding to hold back, and Jesse, man, when he pulled up and under, that thing just turned into a haunted house. That floor just separating underneath him, and Connor knew that he didn't have a chance.
And the sketchy thing when that happened, that means there's air underneath, so it just disappears under you and you go straight to the bottom, sometimes going straight flat into the reef. Let's see Felipe up
Felipe Toledo grabbing the rail. He's got a good line. A big chandelier just shoves him down and just clamped on him. His line was strong and true, but that end section will make that incomplete. These guys doing a great effort in this survival heat, dodging tow sets to start, got a restart. Connor 1.5, and we'll wait to see where Toledo's incomplete number locks in. Connor's already tempted to look at this one. He'll hold back, changing directions. Both these guys looking for a spot into round 3. Cowley Vost has Al Cleveland Jr. Seth Moniz has Baron Mamiya. This will set up our first competitor in Heat 3 of round 3. As we take another look at Felipe's effort here, Jesse.
Yeah, this is one of those that comes with the more of a south angle to it. You can see it doesn't get as hollow as you're hoping for, and it's up more towards the top of the shelf. So that one clamping, you really want that west bow today with these winds that we have coming from the southeast, sometimes clocking and swinging even a little bit more to the south, making everything a bit tighter. So this one was one of the situations for Felipe. So you see the difference from that wave and Connor's wave that he didn't make it. It was just so much cleaner and opened up because he had that angle towards the channel that wraps around the channel and comes back into the reef, being way wider. And this one just a clampy, more southy angled wave. Easier to manage, way less risky. But on a day like today, obviously with this wind, just not opening up enough.
This is where judges are actually paying attention to 1s and 1.5s, more so than other events on tour. When, you know, you see a fall and, you know, there's a 1 or an incomplete turn at performance waves, they can move on fairly quickly, and often those are throwaways, you know, in a matter of moments. On a day like today, they're trying to actually make a separation between what Connor's wave looked like and what Felipe's wave looked like, just in case it makes a difference in the heat when it's all said and done.
Yeah, which it could. We saw it in the previous heat with Baramamia. He had a 7 something, and then he ended up getting a 1.4. He needed a 0.6. So, and that 1.4 on a day like today, any other day, any other venue, a 1-point ride is just basically taking off and doing a tiny little turn, or just riding the wave all the way to the end. And today, you still kind of need to get barreled, so it's very tricky. Unless it's a massive wave and you pull in and don't come out, you get the score, but most likely, you're going to have to get a barrel where anywhere else in the world would have been the barrel of your life.
I suppose if you survive today, being the biggest day of the waiting period, everything else will be icing on the cake. The feeling you'll get paddling into even just a touch smaller and cleaner conditions will just be a dream come true. Connor O'Leary lunging into a small, tight section, trying to force a completion. And he'll go straight down. Let's get another look at Felipe Toledo. He's going to hold back, and we'll get an opportunity to get a conditions report from Strider.
Thank you so much there, Joe. You know what? This wind has picked up, as you can probably see on the screen, and the amount of lump that it's created coming across the lip line on those waves that are coming in, it makes it really hard to decipher which wave you want to take off on and where's your entry point. So the challenge has gotten even deeper since this morning, with the waves being as big as they are and as heavy as they are. You also have that element of trying to figure out the entry point now because of the undulated lip line from all of that wind pushing across. So just to, you know, make it a little harder for everybody, this wind has made it much more challenging to identify that.
Thank you, Strider. Yeah, just a wild day for competition with that increasing southeast wind that he's talking about. And even going further, Baramamia on the boat with Cote was just going, I mean, everything about today is terrifying. I mean, it's kind of gloomy, it's cold, it's constant rain, you know, and there is a difference. You know, we've been reflecting on that 2014 era footage where it's just sunshine, blue skies, and yeah, it's gigantic and terrifying, but it's at least a bit more welcoming, even to be in the channel to watch with sheet glass conditions. Best surfers in the world are seeing clear entry points, knowing which ways they want. Today, even the visibility of the horizon is hard to look at on a wave that's already trying to sneak up on you, Jesse.
No, it's night and day. It's completely different. It might be the same size. Today, probably the sets are bigger than that day, obviously, but the waves that they're surfing are the same size. But the intensity today and the energy, the longer period interval as well in between the waves just creates that more push behind you, making everything not very friendly out there. And you can see all those swells. This is a side swell. This is not the swell they're surfing right now. This is just wind, swell created by the wind going sideways towards them. So the wind is like wrapping around the island and creating like a 4-foot swell, but once it hits in here, it's a 2-foot swell. But then this just makes everything so much tougher.
Crazy side just chunks coming down the line. You can see how aggressive they're holding their rails to make sure they get the completion throughout the day today, because you have these giant speed bumps that are trying to take you off your board, and some of those speed bumps are almost 2 foot, 3 foot coming right at you while you're trying to pig dog these things. That wave unloads underneath them, a messy one on the inside shelf. Felipe and Connor, pretty much the same age, 32 and 31. They're really good friends, ton of respect for each other. So I bet they're sitting next to each other knowing that they're kind of in this together. There would be probably moments where they've got moments to communicate with each other if they need to. But yeah, a lot of love, a lot of respect. They've known each other for a very long time. We got to see that in the Red Bull Athlete Zone after their heat together on the Gold Coast in Australia. Having a look here on this thing going through, Jesse.
Yeah, just a very deep one. Like there's been a lot of those just coming up the reef a bit more, and you can't really position for them. Like you need a position for those west ones. That wave, nobody really surfs it. Every once in a while when it's a smaller day, you see some guys paddling up the top, but it's more of a mirage than anything.
I don't know how many surfers in the world would pull up to a day like today and go, oh yeah, let's go get barrel. Very few.
Very, you can count on your hands.
It's a tiny group, and for the best in the world, they've got to be prepared for everything. For Jesse, for you, you know, you've had heats where you're surfing with fear. You know, the difference of when you're surfing and having fun, looking for the best set that's coming through on the day and actually wanting every bit of it, and a day where you could feel yourself tightening up, and what that can do to your performance if you let that fear take over.
I think first thing is overrunning a wave. Like you get so tight and you get so nervous mostly in a day like here, like as soon as you focus and you decide you're going to take off on the wave and you decide this is the wave you were looking for, you're going to start pumping a little bit too much and get ahead of yourself. In this moments, that's why guys that look relaxed and get deeper in the barrel get so rewarded, because the reflection that you have is just to run away from you know, all the turbulence and all the noise that is happening. I think this is the biggest point of people just getting ahead of themselves.
Seth Moniz looking so comfortable.
The opposite of that.
In these types of conditions where he just looks flawless, looks comfortable, looks smooth, looks like he's controlling chaos, you know, in this type of arena. And he showed that to us before. You know, his previous semifinal was that really dark, stormy, super gnarly day back in his rookie season where he got a semifinal. So for a guy like Seth needing a huge result, he couldn't be happier, you know, looking at a forecast like this.
Not that he's not scared, but he just likes to be in the environment where that fear kicks in, and he's able to control it better than other people. And he's not the only one. There's a few guys that obviously do that very well. Looks like Connor
locking in here, third wave, and this one is just an up and out. So nothing to pull into from where Connor took off. 2 falls before. His biggest fall was his first wave, a 1.5, where he squared up on a crazy one. It stretched to the west bowl, and there's no wave coming out. That's still the high mark of the heat. Now under 15 minutes to go.
I was actually surprised he went on that wave, because that's the sketchiest thing you can do. Like, you're going on a way smaller wave in size, and it was already very frothy. So basically he went knowing he wasn't going to get barreled. At least it seemed like for me here, easy to say. But then you can kick out, and a 15-foot wave is right behind you, and you're getting smoked. So I feel like they're kind of adjusting to the situation. They let a few waves go in the beginning of the heat that were definitely rideable and easier, and now they're just trying to pull the trigger on anything that comes towards them, because the you know, the time's clocking. They've been out for a while and they only have 1-point rides. So you see Whitecaps coming towards them in the lineup today. Like yesterday felt like they were a bit up the top more in the ocean, and today the swell probably built in, that wind swell built in throughout the night, and it's moving in a little bit closer, pushing a little bit harder, making it very tricky for the surfers right now.
Now looking at 13:55 on the clock, a lot of water moving on the horizon. Toledo is in the red jersey, Connor below him in blue, and they scratch over this one. Connor's got a punch under that lip of an absolute bomb unloading. Strider hops over, and Samuel Smith, our water cameraman, is doing a good job putting himself right in the zone for this paddle. And Felipe Toledo has a lot of white water on the face, so just a really short ride there. And that'll give priority to Connor O'Leary with 13:20 to go.
Yeah, so that obviously that second wave came smaller than the first one, so it creates all that whitewash that you're seeing on the screen. So that second wave moves in a bit more. The first wave filled in with water, second wave smaller, so it's inside that track. So it just gets very noisy.
Let's check in with Chris Cote for an ICUV report.
Yeah, thanks team. Well, the ICUV report is at a 3. So actually a little bit nicer than yesterday, although the fear scale is at about a 10, maybe a 12. It's absolutely horrifying, about 30 yards that way. But here on the boat, and as you can see around us, It's getting a little bit more lively here in the channel, so today's a day where you could actually throw on your IC shades and cruise. Unless you're a surfer and you're out there, where that's not where I want to be. What about you guys?
Yeah, right there with you, Chris. You know what's wild about sitting there where Chris is? He looks relaxed and comfortable and really cool with his ICs on, but you get a full adrenaline rush when you're sitting where Chris is. You feel the fear of the ocean lifting, and you're just questioning, are these guys going to whip it and go? Big thanks to the crew at IC. Joey Santley here on hand, watching the best in the world from the channel as well. Releasing the new shade called the Jack for Jack Robinson at this event. And Jack is the defending champ. As we watch that wave unload, and situation still just a matter of if someone could get barreled, they could move on into round 3. But there's been tow sets, a restart. Toledo needing a 1.11, and Connor with priority with his best score of a 1.5. Italo Ferreira, Luke Thompson coming up next in round 2, heat number 6. Followed by the hero of the morning, Liam O'Brien, who's very sendy. He's coming up against Jake Marshall, who had probably the craziest wipeout of the morning session yesterday. Followed by Ethan Ewing, Joel Vaughn. Leo Fioravanti, world number 1, has the hard-charging Moroccan, Ramsey Boukiam. Morgan Siblick will have Joao Chianca, and we know how much Joao loves this wave. A lot of strike missions with Joao and his big brother, Lucas, who's already one of the best big wave surfers on the planet. But, you know, on a day like today, even with strong southeast winds, it's a day to be on the ocean for all local Tahitians and for the best in the world, trying to get a piece of this wild, big day, the biggest day of 2026. It continues right after this break.
Surface time check, 10 minutes. 10 minutes remaining.
The river going through the village. The sun is about to set. I really liked the connection that I had with people that were coming to mostly surf the wave of Teahupo'o. So they were coming to stay at my place a lot back in the day. Part of the Brazilian team, Gabriel Medina, Felipe Toledo, Tatiana, Western Webb. All these guys are now friends. I've known them for years, and they're staying at my house now. We're kind of like family, you know. End of the week. Oh, it's pretty down there. Sunset time with a little beer. Cool vibe right here. Manoia.
Welcome back to Paradise, Rain or Shine. It's just phenomenal, as we always have some great words with Tahiti Henry, who hosts a lot of the best in the world right between those big green mountains there. Here enjoying it on the Tahiti flight cam. And the judges' tower there, they're on the 3rd floor, dropped off in the morning, and it is just dead silent upstairs, just scoring the best in the world this morning. You can see the priority discs there, showing that Connor still has first prio. Felipe Toledo still second priority. That's a lagoon they ride around there on the ski, so they do a lap around that judging tower, go into deeper water, and they can really open it up and gun it to the channel. Takes about, sometimes 90 seconds at the fastest speed to whip these guys back into position. Meanwhile, it will be Felipe Toledo, a 2-time world champ, just up and out on his 3rd wave ridden in this matchup. First 15 minutes went by with a lot of drama. Even though no waves were ridden, we saw a few tow waves come through. They got a fresh clock, and they've just been trying to find a piece or corner of Teahupo'o to work with to hopefully get a completion. It's still wide open. Both surfers just looking for one make inside the pit to move forward.
It's so scary out there. You can see those waves unfolding as Felipe pedals back out. And even the side chop that is going through and that wave of Felipe, you could see that he had the main takeoff, and all of a sudden he's going to a chop that is like 2 foot, creating an elevator feeling to it, and you're trying to traction your rails and your fins to be secure on top of the board and stable, but it's just not really happening. Wind getting stronger, and we could already see that when Seth had that fall earlier today, but now the wind much stronger. As you see it right there, he took off on the wave, and all of a sudden again, he kind of goes through a few lumps that it's even hard for you to see it on the screen sometimes, but for a surfer that has, surfed something similar to that before, knows how tough it is to deal and manage that with all that push behind you and all that energy from this massive swell.
The survival heat continues still with 5:25 on the clock, which would maybe feel like an eternity at this point. The amount of time they've spent out there when you add the minutes of the restart, it's a long time to be dealing with tow sets coming through, navigating the strong southeast Madamu winds, but also knowing that there's crucial world title points on the line when it comes down to the Pipe Masters. These surfers don't want to be thinking about this heat again, what they could have done to move forward. They're taking it like the world title's on the line. Connor 1.5 and a 0.6. And Toledo not needing much, passing that 5-minute mark.
And you just mentioned what they could have done. I was just thinking about that. What do you do if you're in Connor's position? Like, oh, there you go. He might do something here.
Connor O'Leary knifes that one well. A hollow cave that he's out in front of, but survives a very critical takeoff.
So I think that's what Dog mentioned earlier, that he was wishing that he was positioned himself a little bit deeper, because if you see it on the previous heats, guys were coming and driving from behind of that west bow because there's so much energy pushing you towards the channel. You really need to delay yourself. So if you see it right here, he's taking off right on the apex. So what that does, it pushes him sideways to the right of the screen. And as much as he's trying to stall, and he's a big guy. He's a 6'2", probably 180 pounds. And he couldn't even slow himself down. So you need to be a little bit further, a few feet further behind, so you can drive into that west bow and get a bit deeper. But for the situation of the heat, I mean, I don't blame him. Like, they're only with 1 point rides. Why would you risk it even more? This is already enough risk, like any takeoff out here is very risky.
Adding to Connor's experience here in Tahiti was with his appearance for the Olympics representing Team Japan, as he was out here with Ethan Ewing in a wild heat where the wind picked up, it got really treacherous, and he was bending over backwards trying to find which wave was going to work for him. Took some serious beatings in that one. Connor's been into the 9s with great scores out here in the past, but he's also been flexed a couple of times, even last year on a wild one. So an absolute charger, trying to be precise about the waves that he's choosing right now. The last score, we'll see some improvement there. A 1.93 for Connor, making that critical takeoff. So requirement has gone up for Toledo, needing a 2.43. But when you talk about being clutch in the 5 minutes remaining in heats, Toledo's got one this season in 2026. A round 3 matchup he had back at Raglan, where he got the score to move on. That's when he was riding that little 2+1 fish model from Sharp Eye. not the board of choice today.
Definitely not. It's the doors. It's wide open. It's a matter of, like, you see now, Connor is starting to move into the left of the screen. He's going to position himself probably deeper and under. Felipe's staying exactly where he wants to be. He's not even looking at Connor with priority. But this might be smart for Connor, trying to sneak something in. They're sitting a little bit wide, as we saw it on that last wave. So reposition yourself. Maybe. There you go. He's looking at a wave right now.
Grabbing this one is Connor O'Leary, and he will pull up and under. A smaller wave there, keeps a higher line, but the first completion we've had from inside the tube in the matchup. He'll ditch a 1.5, and the 2.43 will increase on Toledo with 1:45 to go.
Yeah, I mean, it was a small wave, but it was the deepest barrel we've seen it so far. A small wave. Let me regroup. It was a small wave for a day like today, but it was the deepest barrel by far we've seen it on this heat. You can see his stall. He comes a little bit from behind. He gets fully covered and comes out. He knows he just needs to squeeze a little bit something better to apply more pressure on Felipe, and have Felipe have to pull the trigger on a decent wave in order to catch up to him.
The requirement moves up a touch, so 2.13 last of O'Leary. And Toledo now needs a 3.06 to advance. Currently the 15th seed on tour. Felipe Toledo, a two-time world champ. Still has time to find something to work with on this big south-southwest swell with severe southeast winds that are just picking up as we speak. White caps out the back, gloomy overcast skies. And both competitors sitting shoulder to shoulder. Italo and Luke coming up next for round 2, heat number 6. And the channel packed and very busy. As soon as the sun came up this morning, Water Patrol doing a great job, led by great surfers like Juana David, keeping the channel clear, taxing people into the right spaces and making sure everyone's safe from those big tow sets. And all eyes on the best surfers in the world, with 4 impact drivers paired with grabbers. As we see this heat come to a close, Connor O'Leary takes a survival win there over Felipe Toledo and breaks his 3-heat losing streak in round 2 that he's had in the 3 past events. And now he'll get another shot in round 3. Felipe Toledo knocked out of the event as he'll start preparing for cloud break. Wild heat there, Jesse, with the restart and just trying to find something to work with. That's as tough as it gets.
I mean, that is as tough as it gets. I'm sure he's going to regroup and probably have a different strategy coming into the next one. It looks like he's shaking his hand, probably trying to figure it out, like, what do you do out there? You know, that's what he's probably trying to say. It's very tricky to identify anything that's coming towards, and every once in a while it's a 15-foot wave.
Yeah, giants waves were coming through there. Connor O'Leary getting the news that he did enough, breaking it down with Richard Dog Marsh. Italo Ferreira, Luke Thompson set up in round 2, heat number 6, and we're getting some insight from event staff right now that we are going to be going on hold for 30 minutes. So contest officials want to take a little look at it and probably have some conversations about what's happening in the day and in the forecast. So event going on hold, and there'll be some discussions with Renato Hickel and the crew, and on deck will be Italo Ferreira and Luke Thompson, Jesse, and we'll see what the rest of the day has in store for us.
Yeah, I hope it cleans up and, you know, the wind gets a little bit on a better direction, because there are crazy waves. We saw it in the first few days. It's just got very windy right now and a bit more onshore.
So once again, everyone, event is on hold. Round 2, heat number 6, still standing by. Next call in about a half an hour. We'll keep you posted. Stay tuned to WorldSurfLeague.com for all the updates.
WSL Championship Tour, by definition, is the world's best surfers on the world's best waves. The Dream Tour has one venue that punctuates this statement more than any other. On the island of Tahiti, at the end of the road, lies a notorious reef pass that brings nightmares to the fearless.
This big set's coming right now. Look at the set, you guys. Look at the size of the set, you guys. Holy smoke, look at the next one. Oh my God!
Teahupo'o defines what is rideable on a surfboard.
Into the tube with Italo. It is a bomb to kick off his heat.
Mere centimeters can be the difference between the worst wipeout of your career or the ride of a lifetime.
This one training across the reef, and he's into daylight. Well done. She settles in, and she gets blasted out. And now a bigger one, super deep. Who are you?
Hey, now we're having fun, boy.
To win a world title in the sport of surfing, you must survive the fight in this gladiator pit and stand tall in the gallows of the heaviest wave in the world.
Grabs the wall real deep, gets blown out of the cannon. Well before the window opens up in Tahiti, we're starting to hear rumblings of a swell event.
There was some of the biggest, gnarliest sets of the past year.
Yeah, this is gonna be sick. Can't wait to watch this turn. Yeah, look at this thing! Ah!
It was straight into the demon's lair. You saw guys like Griffin Colapinto, Jao Chianca, Jack Robinson throwing themselves over the ledge.
To see just giant waves fold in half on the reef. There's tow guys waiting, and then there's just some animals waiting just under the ledge to see if it is paddable that day.
You're like in a survival mode and everybody's kind of like scared. You can feel the aura, you know? And I saw Joao get out there and he caught a wave and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go out there, feel the energy. One of my best rides in my life.
Feeling dropping my sister, let it go on that wave was probably one of the scariest moments of my life. I wanted to throw because I was like, well, what did I do?
I saw Island's wave and it was an absolute like Newton thing. It was like scary and she's just following her brother's footsteps, which is scary footsteps. I don't know about that.
Definitely, I think the swell over-delivered, and it's why we love it down here. I was really stoked to be able to surf Chopu switch, get towed in on a couple.
Everyone's charging, everyone's getting crazy waves, and vibe is really high right now, and energy is awesome for the event. Looks like we're gonna have great waves, so warm-up session couldn't have been better.
This one. You can see the mountains in the back, you can hear the sounds of like the wave breaking on the reef. All the senses turn on. It just makes you feel something that you would never feel in a normal day. So yeah, it gives me goosebumps talking about it. So.
Today we had such a good day and can't wait to see for tomorrow. Forecast for the whole week looks awesome and could be one of the best comps ever.
The night before the Lexus Tahiti Pro is scheduled to begin, a powerful opening ceremony is held to honor the Teahupo'o community and present a tough crew of wildcard competitors who will be challenging the world's best.
You have a beautiful culture that surrounds you here in the village of Teahupo'o, and when you can get every one of you that come from this town together to represent, that's an energy. You feel that. And that's the way the Tahitian wildcards walked up to the opening ceremony. It was like a force going, yeah, if you want to win, you're going to have to get through us first.
Through the beauty of our culture, we're able to, be on the big stage and show how beautiful and how powerful the Tahitians are.
You're the first Tahitian to rise through as a wild card and win this event. You have made history.
It was the best moment in my career so far to have won my first CT at home. It's exciting because we get to do it this year again.
To have the wild card here at home, it means a lot for me, it means a lot for everybody here, all the locals, all the people living at Teahupo'o.
There's literally a handful of surfers in the world that have a high comfort level at Chopo. Kalivas is one of them. He reads this wave and rides it perfect.
You have to count him as a favorite, just given on what you see in the free surfs and in heats with Kalivas.
The Lexus Tahiti Pro is stop 11 of 11.
Ready for the final event of the regular season. Now all we need to find out who's going to be in the Lexus WSL Finals in Fiji.
And this contest will decide the final 5 for men and women. Molly Picklum leads the ranks for the women.
A big goal of mine was just try and finish the year #1. It's what we try every year. Before I was like, oh, just make the cut. But this year I was like, don't just make the final 5. Like, let's go in #1. And to be looking pretty good for that is so exciting. And hopefully it all happens again, make quarters and beyond and secure that #1 spot and see what happens in Fiji.
And on the men's side, for the first time in his career, Yago Dora will be wearing the yellow jersey.
Yago, how you feeling?
I'm excited. Saw some splits already.
So coming into this final event of the regular season, just one surfer has actually clinched their spot on the men's side for the final 5. That surfer, Yago Dora.
It's been a lot of work and dedication to this moment, and I think I just feel grateful to be in the position I am right now and to have the opportunity I have. Being in the yellow jersey, one event prior to the finals, and I really try to enjoy this event and do the best I can. It's kind of nerve-wracking seeing how big it's gonna be. It's like a fun little process of like getting ready and being prepared for this kind of conditions, and yeah, I can't wait for tomorrow.
Day 1 of competition. First light reveals an epic swell storming down the reef at the end of the road. The Lexus Tahiti Pro is on.
Look at the size of the set, you guys. The one behind me is twice as big.
Into the barrel, gets blown out into the channel. These guys are just firing at all cylinders. What are we going to see? Exciting times here on opening day of the Lexus Tahiti Pro. Everyone's waking up in the dark. It sounded like thunder. It was just this thunderstorm. Then you're going, oh gosh, it's huge.
Yago, how you feeling?
Excited. Saw some splits already.
Look at these waves, guys.
The first set that we saw was a monster, a toe set from hell.
Look at the size of the set, you guys. The one behind me is twice as big. Go! Oh my God! Holy smoke, look at the next one! Oh my God! The next one's even bigger! Oh my God, Joel! He's not even thought he bailed! Oh my gosh! Oh, that was a toe wing!
This was like the gnarliest good morning wake-up call that you would ever see. And then we got the call, it's on, and then the whole place has a different energy.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Toe sets, surfers pushing their own limits, broken boards, broken leashes, broken dreams. This place can be a nightmare, but today it looks like an absolute dream come true, and this is going to be an epic day 1.
3, 2, 1.
buckle up, hang on. We've got a lot to look forward to. This is the Lexus Tahiti Pro.
Italo Ferreira won the Tahiti Pro last year, and now the defending event champion pulls on the jersey, and quickly the last man standing in 2024 is the first man to ride a wave in 2025.
Into the tube with Italo. It is a bomb to kick off his heat. Packing a gem of a wave. Spit out of another cannon. I guess this is real life.
Oh my gosh, look at this wave. Oh, wow. Oh, no.
The sky.
Oh.
Every surfer in the channel knows full well what's on the line, especially if you're fighting to get into that final 5.
Kanoa, speed pump, flying out of the tube.
Callie Vost was the 2024 Olympic gold medalist here at Teahupo'o last year. Callie flexes in the opening round, and the wild card is a favorite to win here at the championship tour level.
In paradise, into the barrel. Callie Vost gets blown out into the channel.
Yeah, baby! Here comes Iago, drops in.
Beautiful.
Double arm bar in there for the stall, no problem for Dora.
I'm gonna keep doing the same work that I've been doing the whole year and hopefully go all the way.
Crosby Colapinto, oh my! No. Here we go, look at this on the bottom of a sea monster.
And he got absolutely detonated.
Yeah, talk us through this one.
Philippe's going, he's doing it. Oh, air drop, no hands. Oh, he pulls it, yeah! Well done.
That one you went was solid. I was like, oh, blue.
Cole's turn, swinging for it, pulls in. He is deep in this cave, and he will thank Teahupo'o for that wave.
This is the dream, you know, that was a fun heat. I don't think I could have pictured anything better.
Jack Robinson is on a mission. He must win this event to make the final 5. Any other result will literally be the end of the road for Robbo's 2025 campaign.
Robinson moving on into the round of 16.
Griffin Colapinto has been climbing the rankings in the back half of the year. The Californian sits in 6th place, but Griff needs a big result to make the final 5. A confident Colapinto is all smiles as he prepares for an opening round clash with Connor O'Leary and Al Cleland Jr.
The first wave, bottom drops out. Cleland face plants on a bomb.
He absolutely ate it. That won't hold him back. Oh my goodness.
Connor O'Leary loves going front side into a beautiful tube to get a quick score. 6-point ride for Connor. Nice clean entry for Al Cleland Jr. Everything looked solid there as he got the make. And now a bigger one, super deep. Griffin Colapinto, who are you? Wow, Colapinto locks in a crazy one.
Look how deep he is. He came from behind the section here. I mean, this was just beautifully ridden.
What a day. 8-6-7 for the last of Griffin Colapinto. He will take the lead.
Here we go.
O'Leary making a nice pit there, knowing he's got 2:30 left and is far from over. 7:03. So that was an important ride to keep Connor in the mix. Minute to go. Al's put himself in position, controls the takeoff. Beautiful technique, trying to burn off some speed. Here comes Griff on the next one. That thing moved on him and extended the barrel ride. An absolute magician in this heat today. Connor's turn. Oh no. That one bottoms out. And Connor takes a vicious wipeout at the very end of the matchup. And world number 6, Griffin Colapinto, is into the round of 16.
Thank you.
And he's trying to hunt down at least Ethan Ewing's spot in the final 5. Griff was just in that go zone, you know? It doesn't look like he's like, oh gosh, I've got a world title on the line. He's just swinging for the waves of his life, and it's working for him.
Yes, sir. On the glass.
Right now, obviously, there's a lot of implications with the ratings and stuff, so a couple of funny ratings thoughts pop into my head, but my brother told me, he's just like, just be present, just come back to the present moment. Like, you're gonna get those thoughts, but you just have to like stay aware and tell yourself like present, 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 you know? So sick. Oh, yeah, appreciate that.
Teahupo'o is an equal opportunity experience on the WSL Championship Tour. Up next, the world's best women step into the ring and make headlines with a knockout performance.
Packing an absolute bomb. Spit out. That's what we were looking for.
Real deep, get blown out of a cannon.
It's gonna be a fun day. Smaller but cleaner. Some perfect inside ledge.
Sun comes up, first thing we see is the most perfect set come through. Still super gnarly.
Pro surfing is styling today. The opening round of competition for the women in the regular season finale.
Surfer's going, okay, here we go.
Here's world number 9, Erin Brooks, the rookie, pulling in deeper. She gets it. The second day of the window, the women just took over at Chopes. Karen Brooks grabs the wall real deep, gets blown out of a cannon. And it was pumping. Gabriella will get this wave, a little out of control in the takeoff. She settles in and she gets blasted out.
Yeah, it was incredible. Definitely the best left of my life for sure.
These waves of consequence have that habit of pushing people to their limits, and that's obviously when that growth happens, and that's when those special moments are created, and we saw that with Gabriella.
The reigning world champ, Katie Simmers, pretty deep on this thing. Simmers takes on Gabrielle O'Brien in semifinal number 1.
Holy moly, packing an absolute bomb straight out of the gates. Are you kidding me?
There was unbelievable rides.
Fierro scratches into this one, ducks under into the barrel, travels through second section, and that's what exactly the Tahitian representing France does.
Molly Picklum and Vahine Fierro are the early round standouts.
Oh my word! Wait a minute. That was one of the sickest things I've ever seen. She's not playing.
Molly Picklum is the best female backside tube rider on the planet. This is not a question, but a statement.
Molly Picklum, she's on fire.
Whew. She's been doing something right the last couple events, and it's been cool to see.
And the queen of Teahupo'o, Vahine Fierro, comes out and that was
Vahine Fierro's surfing at Teahupo'o is, in one word, beautiful. But don't let her elegant style fool you. Vahine is gnarly.
Oh, wow. Spit out. That's what we were looking for.
It's actually the best feeling to take risk in the heat, so yeah, that's kind of my goal. That was fun. Merci.
When you live with a monster in your backyard, you have to adapt to a life of danger. Vahine Fierro deliberately moved to the end of the road at a young age because she wanted to overcome her fear of big waves and befriend the monster that is Teahupo'o.
Fear is probably what makes me go out more because it's an addiction. You know, it's my drug. It's like there's curiosity, there's overcoming something, there's, you know, just so much going on, and that's why I keep going out there even if I'm almost, you know, crying because I'm so scared, but I know that the feeling after when I do make my best wave is worth all that fear. You're paddling into this huge wall that's coming straight at you, and then it's like crystal clear, all the reef underneath, and you're like paddling into the reef almost. And then you just get like into this huge tunnel, and all you can see is like the people in the channel like cheering. You can see the mountains in the back. You can hear the sounds of like the wave breaking on the reef. All the senses turn on, like whether it's the view, the sounds. It just makes you feel something that you would never feel in a normal day. Yeah, it gives me goosebumps talking about it. So. It's insane!
What a day. What an afternoon. Quarterfinals ready to go.
Vahine Fierro versus Molly Picklum. This goofy versus regular matchup is epic. Two of the absolute best female tube riders on the planet.
Here we go. Vahine riding, dragging, easy exit for the Tahitian. Molly Picklum gets a pump in and then goes cartwheels over.
Oh, that was a tough one.
Oh my. And here she is doing work, drops onto the bottom of this one. Molly just such a charger. It's just the waves have not given her an exit door.
It's only a matter of time before one of those opportunities goes her way.
Vahine stalls the bomb turn, pulls into a pit, and just majestic in her approach and how in sync she is with this wave. So impressive. She's going to increase her lead over Molly Picklum. 4 minutes, 40 seconds on the board, and Molly needs a pretty big score of a 7.67. Molly Picklum sees something.
She sees something out the back.
Stroking out the back.
Oh, here we go. Paddling, wall of water.
Oh, wow.
Important wave here for her season.
Look at this thing. Drops in. It's a big barrel. It spins and she comes out. Molly Picklum.
You animal, Molly Picklum. That was insane.
She got the claws out, clawed into that one and scratched it up.
Here we go, Vahine behind.
Vahine right behind her. A big ruby barrel gets a couple pumps there, and Vahine spin. And she was right there. Does not make it. Molly Picklum may have just turned the heat.
977. Thanks for coming. That's a statement to the whole tour.
Molly Picklum. See you in semifinal number 2.
The Molly show is just starting. Big things to come, and hopefully a few more barrels like that last one you got.
I know, let's hope. Couple 9s now, let's surely, please.
Up next, the battle for the final 5 gets serious.
Bravo wants to make it after the spin.
My goodness gracious.
Jack Robinson, Griffin Colapinto, Ethan Ewing. 3 competitors vying for 2 remaining spots at the WSL Finals.
Whoever wins this quarterfinal will clinch their spot for the Lexus WSL Finals Fiji. Colapinto coming up behind the spin.
Who will be left standing when the music stops?
Yeah, let's go again.
Morning, guys. Today is gonna be on.
Morning, man. You good?
Blessed stop, blessed day of event. For many, many people, still final 5, but it will be an exciting day to finish up.
Jordy Smith checks in for the first heat of finals day. Against all odds, the 38-year-old South African has been a youthful standout this year.
There is huge implications, and it is going to be a good heat because you're coming up against the local. Wildcard put a lot of time in here, so he has got a pretty hard job ahead of him.
Putting the head down, Teva Tairoa is getting spit out of a cave. Jordy Smith knows he's got to be great on this one to officially get his spot into the Lexus WSL Finals. Grabs the rail, has to readjust, pulls up and under, comes out after the spin.
I just told myself, I know you can do this, Jordan. And get out of my own way and go for it.
In the elimination round, the big guy went ham and posted the best Teahupo'o wave score of his storied career.
Oh, mayday, bro. Woo! I'm just stoked, bro.
Did you get the news that you clinched your spot in the final 5?
Hey, now we're having fun, boy.
For Jordy Smith, the celebration would end here. Wildcard Callie Vost hands him a shocking loss in the round of 16.
Jordy Smith out of this event. Going to look into his flights over to Fiji for the final.
Team Tahiti continues their reign of terror here in Teahupo'o as Mihimana Bray eliminates the WSL rankings leader, Iago Dora. At this point, 3 men are locked in for the final 5. Iago Dora and Jordy Smith are the number 1 and 2 seeds. Italo Ferreira has clinched a yet-to-be-determined position, and 2 open spots remain for the men.
Jack Robbo, he's looking stealth. He's tapped into that magic. He just looks really deadly.
As we move into the quarterfinals, the battle for the final 5 becomes ruthless. For the contenders, every heat is a must-win.
Whoever wins this quarterfinal will clinch their spot for the Lexus WSL Finals Fiji. If you lose, then it's up to Jack to take that spot off of you.
Man on the screen, Jack Robbo, who still can play spoil to one of these two guys in this heat right now.
That would just be a stressful rest of your day if you're waiting in the balance. Here comes quarter 4, Ethan and Griffin ready to ride his own history right now as he grabs the rail. Nice low compact stance. Can he make it? He does. Opens up with a big flyaway kick out and join the pit and chokes once again as his roll has been unbelievable. Have a paddle, Ewing with priority, but just a little bit more inside is Colapinto. Beautiful bottom turn, then grabs the rail, coming up behind the spit. This guy is on a roll. Ethan Ewing, meanwhile, hasn't got to his feet yet. Winner of this heat clinches a spot in the final 5. Locking in, let's go the rail. Ethan Ewing's opener will be a beautiful make. 7:17 start for Ewing. And still needs a 9.59. Important one here for the world title race. Griffin will use priority and ends up not even going. So that was the block. Ethan has 20 seconds now to try to clinch a spot in the WSL Final 5. Coming down to this wave. Ethan, let's go the rail. Drops into this one really deep. Ewing going for a higher line, then a low road exit. Still fighting for it. And not giving up until that horn went off. Numbers are locking in for the Australian. It's not enough. Griffin Colapinto has clinched a spot in the Lexus WSL Finals Fiji.
That was a pretty cool scenario for Ethan and I. Like, whoever won that heat makes the final 5, right? Correct?
You want me to say the word?
You might as well.
Clinched.
Thank you. But yeah, pretty much like I knew that going into the heat, and Jack I think needs to win to pass Ethan now, and he's on such a roll and he's done it before here, so I was like, okay, this is mandatory pretty much right now.
Massive heat. Our defending champ, Italo Ferreira, coming up against Jack Robinson, our 2023 champ here in Tahiti.
And then there's also the added layer of what it means in this heat for Jack Robinson and his year. Is this the last event of the year for him, or is he going to make a big run through this draw and put himself into that final 5?
Italo on the inside, open priority to start this quarterfinal. Paddle, watching the position. And there's the last minute that you called it, Stace. Right underneath him. Oh,
he's got to be careful.
Wait a minute. Here goes Jack. Jack in control on the backhand, in the barrel. Wow. Jack Robinson, after a little tussle at the beginning of this heat, is going to have the first meaningful score. Ferreira drawing down the line, pulls into a cave, comes out. Italo Ferreira off the bottom. Rail grab, yanks it off the top there yes. For a little exclamation mark at the end of that ride. Italo Ferreira right back into this heat. Nice answer back by the Brazilian. Italo Ferreira deep on the reef here. Double arm drag, high line, punches out of there. Italo Ferreira will go into the lead. Jack Robinson right behind him. In and out with the spit. What an exchange that we are seeing here at the end of the road. Heat control to Jack Robinson. He's got the lead. Ferreira needing a 7.67.
Wow, here we go.
Ferreira, game time for the Brazilian. Drops in, section in front of him. Another section deep, deep and underneath, but gets eaten. Oh, and my word. It's official, and it's going to be Jack Robinson up against Crosby Colapinto in semi-final number 1. Again, scenario for Jack Robinson for a final 5 position, needs to win this event.
Jack tapped into the mana out there, a couple insane tube rides, and more work to do today. How are we feeling right now?
Yeah, it was a good heat. Yeah, I knew everybody's tough, but surfed this wave so much, so yeah, just happy to find some good ones, and yeah, let's go again.
We all heard the famous words when Katie Simmers won Pipeline.
Pipeline for the girls.
The question now is Chopo for the girls.
Whoa!
Katie Simmers and Molly Picklum take over at Chopo for a blockbuster battle between two of the most talented female surfers in the world. The level of women surfing in Waves of Consequence raises every year here in Tahiti. With equal events on the CT, the women are progressing the sport each time this contest is held, and literally every time they are given the opportunity to paddle out. As we move into the semifinals, the bar continues to be raised here at Chopo.
And as we see Caitlin.
Oh my goodness. Pulling into a solid barrel, Katie Simmers lights up the start.
Love that stall to get in the barrel. Just a bit different, right? Drawing a different line.
Katie once again returns to the final here at the end of the road. Now we're watching Molly Picklum doing what she does best.
Wow.
Making another backhand tube.
Her backside tube riding, you cannot falter at the moment.
She has officially made the final. Molly will be taking on Caitlin Simmers to try to win this thing on finals day.
We've been watching this Katie Simmers, Molly Picklum, like friendly rivalry develop over the past few years, and anytime you get to see them surfing heats is going to be special. They're going to be meeting up in the finals. You couldn't script it any better. You got Molly Picklum, who's just on fire. She's dropping near perfect scores on her backhand, on the gnarliest waves, charging out there.
That was one of the sickest things I've ever seen. She's not playing.
And then you got Katie Simmers, who is low-key one of the hardest chargers on the entire tour. She's probably the biggest threat to Molly's chances at a world title.
For Molly, she knows she's had a hard time with Katie, man.
It's 6-0 in a favor of Caitlin against Molly.
I can't speak for Molly, but I would be pissed.
But things are changing. Molly finally gets her first win off Katie Simmers.
Molly Picklum victorious and moving into the final.
How good does it feel to finally get one over her?
Oh my gosh, that's been a long time coming for me. I'll take it. I'll take it. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Tim.
Finally gets her first win of the season in Brazil. Backs it up with another final.
Molly Picklum making it look easy out here.
And now she's in the yellow jersey for the Lexus WSL final. So the momentum is with Molly.
Molly Picklum is absolutely tapped in, and she's showing us with every ride that she gets how determined she is, how much she wants it. She's like a freight train coming at you, and good luck stopping her.
Well done.
Wow.
Molly Picklum, world number 1. Caitlin Simmers, world number 3. They're both trying to win the last event of the regular season, but also carry all that momentum from a win into the world title showdown. Let's kick off the final, starting things off, a big takeoff. Molly Picklum, world number 1, setting that rail, and she guns her way out of a beauty.
Oh my goodness, that was an amazing wave.
Look at an opportunity maybe for Katie Simmers. She is paddling hard into this one. Grabs a rail super deep on a beast of a wave.
Wow, Katie Simmers was a foam ball away from a perfect 10.
That was incredible. And then right behind her, Molly Picklum.
Grabs the rail, controls the takeoff. She is gonna come out right in front of Katie.
Molly, her game plan's playing out perfectly. Now her team said, okay, time to go sit on the outer ledge. Let's do this.
Katie stalls, really trying to maximize that tube time, and then just really awkwardly comes unstuck here, and then looks like she's copying this next one directly on the head. Molly Picklum again, packing a mega tube. This is absolutely insane.
So we got to celebrate what Molly's doing. 8.83, 8.43. Last wave, an 8.33 that she's thrown away. Congratulations, Molly Picklum, your champion of the Lexus Tahiti Pro. owning this event from start to finish. World number 1 as she heads into the title showdown.
I'm so stoked. Like, what a special place, Tahiti.
How about we go to Fiji?
Let's go. I'm so psyched. Number 1 this year. It's a massive step in the right direction. And yeah, hopefully I can get that cherry again in Fiji.
Molly will be the number 1 seed at the WSL Finals in Fiji. Gabriella Bryan is second, and Katie Simmers is in the 3rd position. Pickles is now just 1 heat away from achieving the ultimate dream, fulfilling her destiny, and becoming a world champion.
Molly Picklum owning Chopes this entire week. We're not done yet. The last final of the regular season in 2025 coming up next.
When Jack Robinson is in the zone, he's a man of few words.
We still got some more work to do, so I'll go out there and surf again.
Operating in a zen state, uber focused on the crucial task ahead. Right now, Jack is only thinking 2 words: must win. When Jack Robinson landed in Tahiti, he was in 8th place in the rankings. Mathematically, he needed 10,000 points to make the final 5. This is a massive feat, as the only way to earn 10,000 points is to win the entire contest.
Semifinals time. Jack Robinson on the gas pedal. Can he come through this one? And he does. What a way to start off a semifinal. Robo, 18.12 wave total in this matchup.
I think this was the moment where it all started to really click in, and I'm like, whoa, he's starting to look deadly.
Jack Robinson, finalist here in Tahiti.
So blessed, so thankful just to be in that moment because so much work to get here, and we still got some more work to do, so I'll go out there and surf again.
Semi-final number 2, chance to make the final up against Jack Robinson. Here goes Griff, pops into this one, makes that wave funnel through the inside. Easy exit for Griffin Colapinto.
Here's this last of Griff, sort of pumping from behind the section. Big open wave, big venomous spit.
Griff, now you just earned your place in the finals here today.
Yeah, super excited. First final with Jack, and yeah, the waves just got offshore, so could be an all-timer. We're always playing little mind games with each other. It's pretty funny. This whole time I've seen him over here, like I could feel there's something going on, especially because we're both chasing down the final 5, so.
The last final of the regular season in 2025, Jack taking on Griff. We've seen this happen before, where Jack's had his back against the wall. He's had this wave to make the final 5. It's kind of eerie how we're almost seeing a similar path to the final 5. He always delivers. Always delivers.
You know, he had the close heat with Marco. Marco had a great wave at the end, but Jack survived. And then he had a pretty scrappy start here with the interlope, but he didn't let it fluster him, and he got a great score off the back of that.
He's unstoppable. We saw it happen 2 years ago, but he is just connected.
Dude, he's a ninja out here. He'll let go of the rope and get completely barreled and just pretend that it didn't even happen. He's never got that kind of cowboy bravado. You know, he has that respect to the energy of the place.
Yeah, not too much going on right now, just here, just right here. So, yeah, just surfing, yeah.
He's so locked in, where he's coming from behind in the title race. That just makes him more deadly.
Again, scenario for Jack Robinson for a final 5 position, needs to win this event.
What are you visualizing?
Just surf, yeah, that's it.
The final we have here in 2025 in Tahiti is absolutely worth hyping up. 2 of the best. Griffin Colapinto going up against Jack Robinson. Both these guys have been on fire all day long, and they both have this zen-like focus. You can tell it's like 2 meditative gurus coming head to head, and boom! I think everybody's minds are going to be collectively blown when these two surfers paddling out. I, along with everyone out here, I'm sure everybody watching is so excited for this upcoming final.
Stakes on the line for the last heat of the season. So if Jack wins this final, not only does he clinch a spot in the final 5, he'll go all the way to the number 4 seed. Jack Robinson scrapping into this one, wide open pit. He's deep on it. Robbo wants to make it after the spin.
My goodness gracious me.
What an amazing act on the backhand. That was impressive.
Whoa, this is one of the deepest tubes we've seen on the backhand ridden today by the man.
9.5, one of the best numbers he's had this year.
It just goes to show how much he knows this wave.
And here's Griff's answer backstage. Griffin Colapinto grabbing the rail. Nice drive, nice line. Another make there for Griff.
Yes, just didn't have that same kind of run to it that Robbo's did. But it's a great start for Griff to get a completion.
Griffin's last wave an 8.
Huge score. And it's game on.
Strider, how good's pro surfing?
Oh, come on. They're paying us for this job. Are you kidding me?
Now to this one is Griffin Colapinto. Has just a 1.51 that he was chasing, so maybe he was just hoping for a flip of the standings, but Jack's on the one behind it. Burning off some speed, disappears for a moment, puts the hand up with the spit out of the cannon. 2 looks and 2 completions for Jack Rombo.
I mean, he's making it clear as day that he is an absolute wizard out here.
Scores coming through for Griffin Colapinto, 5.67. Lasted Jack, 7.4.
Griffin's having a hard paddle here.
Griffin looking, using priority, pulls in, still traveling. This one stretching on him and also clamping. Jack Robinson does it again. 2-time champ of the Lexus DD Pro presented by IC.
It's official. Jack Robinson is going to Fiji. Clutch performance all the way through on finals day. You can hear the crowd going wild, and he needed to win this contest to crack into that top 5, and he's done it in glorious fashion.
And you're seeing a big smile from a man that
yes.
turned in a brilliant performance. He's going to share it with his family here.
It's good to see some emotion out of Jackie boy. Enjoying the moment with Zen and Julia.
That's what it's all about. That's what you do it for, right?
All love, you know. It's I'm just taking it in right now, and I had, you know, a mission, and I went for it. So yeah, comes down to the last one, and right there again. Yeah.
Let's hear it for your 2-time champion, Australia's Jack Robinson.
Here it is, the final 5 bracket for the Lexus WSL Finals Fiji. Match 1, Italo Ferreira versus Jack Robinson. Wow, after that banger heat, Griffin Colapinto, Jordy Smith, and the number 1 seed, Iago Dora. The 2025 World Championships for men and women will be decided by head-to-head battles in the water at the notorious left-hand reef pass of Cloudbreak in Fiji.
Oh my!
Next time on Inside Pro Surfing, we hang out on Tavarua Island for a backstage experience at the Lexus WSL Finals Fiji.
Island style, man.
Welcome to the Corona Cerro Post-Show. That's right, 0% ABV, all natural ingredients, and backing us in day number 2 of the Outerknown Tahiti Pro presented by IC. We're going to go over the happenings today. We didn't get through a lot of heats, but we had some spectacular moments, as you can see here at Teahupo'o. A rainy day with a powerful swell hitting us. I'm Kuiper Guerrero, Flick Palmentier, Jesse Mendez. Oh, Jess, man, what a day. I mean, it was short but intense.
I mean, we were very excited to, call it on. Obviously, the first few waves that we saw from lob in the morning and everything just started to go south from us. The wind got very strong, and it was just scary and unruly out there. So, fair enough.
Yeah. Well, fair enough. Well, you called the last heat of the day, Jesse. Connor O'Leary up against Felipe Toledo. That's when things started to deteriorate. We actually had to restart.
Yeah, you could see the swell coming from sideways, like a 2-foot wind swell going through the lineup, and it was just tough for them to find waves. He found that first one. He was just a bit too deep. And as the heat going on, it just kept getting heavier and heavier and just so tough for him to figure it out. So, and then you see Felipe here they're trying to manage and trying to get stuff. This one chandelier a bit, and he ended up falling. That could have maybe cost a heat right there. In the beginning, it seemed like it wasn't going to be the problem, but in the end, they were only scrambling 1-point rides. So it was a tough day in the office for both of the surfers, but Connor got the edge and he's going to get another chance.
That's right.
I feel like it's hard, right, when you go through with a total like that, because you basically be thinking, okay, I'm going out there, it's pumping, look at what's happened in the couple of heats before, and then that's the totals you're left with. You're like, what?
Yeah.
But at least I advanced.
Hey, 4-point heat for Connor O'Leary. Wins a win any way you look at it. Let's hear from Connor after he's win and advancing into round number 3.
Yeah, thanks, team. Connor, did you ever think you'd have to go grind mode at 12-foot chopo to get the scores you need?
Oh man, I thought I was going to have a bit more fun than that, but yeah, it's just tricky. Like I feel like we had heaps of massive waves in our heat, and just kind of put us all a bit out of position. And I feel like at the heats prior there wasn't as many, so it was kind of easier to stay in that in and under. And yeah, I got one that I thought was going to be crazy, but I was just maybe one pump too short. And yeah, I mean, Dog and I were talking about it for a couple of days. We're like, this is one of them places where like there's going to be a lot of heats where you're going to grind through, and it's not going to look pretty. And yeah, he nailed that one because it wasn't pretty.
Well, I hate to bring up what's probably a bad memory, but can you describe for people that don't know what it's like to suffer a wipeout here on a day like today?
Yeah, it's pretty aggressive. Just a lot of water, and that one, the one that I didn't make was really funny. I felt like I just got it's just turmoil, turbulence, and just like but kind of like short, which I guess is a positive. It's aggressive, but it's not long. Well, that one wasn't anyway. So I didn't hit the bottom, which is great. So yeah, it's aggressive, it's terrifying, and I guess for me, like, yeah, I mean, I was scared out there, but you kind of just got to accept that that's all right, and just find a way. And yeah, found a way, which is good.
Well, it's a wild way to win, probably not the way you want to do it, but a win is a win. What do you take away from that heat, and what do you do moving forward?
Yeah, win's a win. It's been a couple of events since I've won a heat, so to get through those tough heats, to really have another wave is a positive for me. And as a goofy footer, I just want to get as tubed as I can and showcase my frontside barrel riding and take advantage of being a goofy footer at a tubing left. So yeah, the more chances I get, better for me, and yeah, hopefully we can do a little better than the next one.
Imagine what's next. Congratulations, Connor. Moving through.
Thanks.
Yeah, there you go. Connor O'Leary moving through. He'll be facing in the next round either Italo Ferreira or Luke Thompson. So that was the grindy end of the day today, but we started the day, Flick, in tremendous fashion. First wave was excellent.
Oh,
just to start off the day.
The way we started the day, it was incredible, right? Seth, straight out of the gates, to have the confidence to do that, especially after the false start that they sort of had yesterday. Where they went out for their heat and paddling each other pretty deep. They had the restart and then it got called off. So you got to think about this moment all night, and then you go paddle out there and go straight into this absolute nugget, 817. it's just pure courage. This day and this morning will go down in surfing history as probably the most ugliest, unruliest chokes we've ever seen. And the way that these two guys just absolutely attacked it, Connor described what it's like to get a beating out there. You cannot stress it enough, just how much water is unloading on the reef and how violent these waves can be if you don't make something like that, which we saw Seth just do. But yeah, they put on a masterclass, these guys.
I mean, it was impressive, and actually it looks very clean and nice for what we've seen it afterwards. When we woke up this morning, this was already kind of messy, but still manageable. And then as the day goes on, it was just getting just so crazy. But those guys put in a great performance to start the day off.
Yeah, and with huge numbers for both of our surfers in this heat. I mean, Iago Dor going down with a 14.33, and that was because Seth, nearly an excellent heat, 15.97 for the young Hawaiian, and he is just moving on in a brilliant fashion, looking very comfortable in the mongrelly heavy conditions out here. Yeah, wow.
It's pretty amazing what Seth's been able to do, because even in the heat previous, he probably drew one of the hardest wildcards to ever draw out here, Emio. Takes down him, gets so much confidence from that, and then now he's just taken down the defending world champ. So moving through with a lot of confidence.
Yeah, let's take a look at what we have yet to see in round number 2 and what has already been in round number 2. Seth Moniz moving on. Baron Mamiya, Connor O'Leary, Al Cleland Jr., and Kauli Voss. Look at our upcoming heats, though, however, Jesse. We got some heaters.
I love the Heat 7. Leon O'Brien, Jake Marshall, they've matched against each other so many times this year already, and they both kind of underground chargers. Like, people don't pay too much attention to them, but they can swing on anything. So it's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be big no matter what. The next few days are still going to be big. So yeah, one to watch from, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's page 1 of the second round matchups. Of course, we got 16 heats in round number 2. And Flick, look at these matchups.
Oh man, there's some heavy hitters. I mean, look, you can't go past heat 13. You can't. I'm sorry. We got the all-time matchup right there. It's Gabe Medina taking on Kelly Slater. Obviously a rematch of that final. And Kelly's looking in such good form as well. We heard him say, bring it on, let's get it out the way early. So I'm excited for that, but there's plenty more to look at.
Yeah, I mean, heat number 9, can Leo Fioravanti hang on to that yellow jersey when we exit Tahiti? Well, it's going to start with a matchup with Ramsey.
I mean, it's a big matchup. Like, they're both friends. They're both going to push each other. They both charge, and they just have different styles of competition. So it's going to be interesting to see how it plans out.
Yep. Well, we're going to have the Mophie Charger of the event, and so every day we're going to have a contender for that Mophie Charger of the event. Flick, no surprise, who's the contender today?
No, I sort of touched on it before, but the fact that Seth had to sleep last night knowing that today was going to be bigger than yesterday, and to go out there straight off the bat and get this wave and just surf it with such confidence and such ease, you can't go past, this being a potential contender for the charger of the event.
Did you see how big that wave got right after he kicked out right there? Like, he was a monster of a wave, but as he went down, it just grew in size.
Oh, man. That was a big morning, and again, courageous surfing by Seth Moniz. Well, gosh, the Pacific's been stirring up all kinds of action right now, Jesse, and Surfline's got more news for us. It looks like the swells will continue to hit the reef here in Tahiti.
I mean, we don't even need to look at the swell forecast right now. Everything looks massive. Let's just put it this way. But I guess it's peaking today, so tomorrow it's going to ease in. It's still going to be massive. Winds are going to be pretty similar, so hopefully it clocks in a little bit more to the east, and we can get cleaner conditions and have an amazing day of competition, maybe a full day. We'll see that. And then as the contest goes on, we have a few days that look cleaner with east winds, even one day a little bit of a northeast, so it could be insane down the line.
It's pretty amazing to think just the variety that you can get in a week out here at the end of the road. But yeah, you can look at these winds right now. Obviously, these are the trades. These are those really strong winds. But then to your point, Jesse, further on in the week, potentially, we might have some more groomed conditions, which might look a little bit more favourable.
There's the swell.
No shortage of it.
Yeah, it's just massive. You can't sleep any day. We can. They can't.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, so thank you, Surfline, for all of the data that you give us and the future where we look at that 4-day forecast. Looking bright here at the Outerknown Tahiti Pro, presented, of course, by IC. And I see a stormy sea right now with still Water Patrol out there on the water, and everything's cleaning up. I think everyone's going to be exiting the lineup real soon. You know what, you guys? It's time for our top moments of today at the Outerknown Tahiti Pro. Let's take a look at it right now, starting off with the hardworking crew that we have. It was a tough day at the office.
Oh, just being out there in that channel when there'd just be so much extra wind chop. I mean, the Jono, the cameraman, we got Dwayno out there on the action boat. There's just, even just getting to the judges' tower as well. I saw some crazy footage of the boat pulling up to that and like the judges getting unloaded. Strider as well, breaking it down in the channel for us. I mean, yeah, it was definitely a tough day, and you got to thank everyone for making it possible. So bring it to the screen so that we can witness some of the best surfing ever here.
Thank you, crew, and thank you to Tahitian Water Patrol as well. Such a good job all day long. Number 3, Mamiya Magic.
Well, Baron, he mentioned that he was kind of scared in some of the waves. He thought he wasn't paddleable. So imagine a guy of this caliber that surfs as good as him saying that to you. It's a big statement. So right there, just finding that jam right in the beginning of the heat. And then he sat for about 15, 20 minutes trying to get something else and couldn't really find an opening for him. So,
well, number 2, Flick. Iago going excellent.
Yeah, Iago did so well. I think just to fight back to when you hear your competitor's already got an 817 and then straight away takes off in this one, so critical on the drop and comes from so far behind to thread that barrel. It was really well done, and to keep it paced with someone who had already dropped another 8, it was really impressive.
Yeah, the answer back from Iago Dora, and he was answering back to number 1, Seth Moniz, powers day into day.
The finesse that Seth surfs these waves, it's out of this world. How he's able to put himself in the most critical part of the wave and just feel comfortable. Very tight stance, just as good as he gets. Second to none. Really, it's so brave and so classic to watch him surf those waves. Look how much he delayed himself and stalled into all that craziness going on. Yeah, putting himself in the most critical part of the wave always. Going through that foam bowl and drama, making it dramatic.
So incredible.
Such a, like I said, a short but intense day, just like the rides that we've seen out here at the end of the road. Well, you guys, gosh, we're going to find a way to stay dry, first of all. I might have to swim back to my place. Who knows?
It's not possible.
It's not possible. But thank you, Flick. Thank you, Jesse. And thank you guys for watching. Tune in tomorrow, 7 o'clock call, local Tahitian time, for a possible 7:30 start. And enjoy the end of day highlights. Yorana.
This copyrighted event broadcast is produced by the World Surf League for broadcast around the world and may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the written consent of the World Surf League.